Top of the morning, traders, and happy Wednesday, May 20th. Welcome to the Most Value Pack Live Trader Show, where we live trade, break down charts, cover high impact events, and talk trader mindset. Hope everyone had a great day yesterday and is ready to kick off another opportunity-filled day. Going into today, the big thing is, of course, NVIDIA's earnings. The headliner, NVIDIA, will be reporting earnings after the close today. So it's very important that you do pay close attention to how NVIDIA moves. If you are trading NVIDIA, right, be very careful trading NVIDIA. The IV is going to be through the roof. All right, if you have an earnings specific strategy, by all means. If you don't gamble in trading NVIDIA earnings. Right, that's a beautiful way to lose money. Right, one of the most creative ways to lose money is trading earnings. All right, going into today, what happened yesterday stays yesterday. What happens today will stay in today. We'll take a shift by shift, and we'll look to primarily focus on SPY. We did jump into the jaws of the gap from. We are going to open up in the jaws of the gap from May 19th. So yesterday's gap, we're going to open up in that area. So I want to see how we respond on these key levels, and we'll look to take advantage of the best opportunity. And we're going to gap up to open things up today. Slight little gap up. So the issue is, guys, we're going to open up inside yesterday's range, and on top of that, we're going to open up within a gap. Okay, gap within a gap within a gap. All right, that's going to be not a lot of traffic. So this is scalpers paradise. Let this thing open up, and we'll look to take advantage of the best opportunities. Again, make sure to like the video on YouTube, guys. Make sure to like the video on YouTube. 100 likes will do the giveaway. 100 likes will do the giveaway. So nice little gap up to open things up, and we're right in the jaws of yesterday's gap down. Okay, yesterday's gap down. Okay. Poll question for today is: how will SPY react to NVIDIA earnings after market close? How will SPY react to NVIDIA earnings after market close is the question for the day. And if you're looking to join our community for the pre-market prep stream along with access to all the resources, the link is pinned in the chat. Make sure to do so. Qs are looking to open up below that daily downside breaker. Everything's looking to open up inside. Everything is looking to open up inside. And our levels will get reset automatically. That's going to be awesome. Let's get shockwave going. Okay. Last 20 seconds, we're going to have to get a countdown into the open or some kind of a bell. Okay, we're going to gap up to open things up within a gap, so pay attention to those levels. Let me make that journal a little smaller. Okay, we're officially open. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's capitalize off this opportunity-filled day. We're gapping up to open things up. We're gapping up slightly above that BOG, the bottom of the gap from yesterday, 735.29. So one pro tip: whenever there's multiple levels in the area, I like to call it high traffic area. So in a high traffic area, it's going to be very difficult for us to get smooth moves unless we get some kind of major catalyst, some kind of major event that takes place. So keep that in mind. And we do have FOMC minutes later today as well. Let's get that daily open here, and then we'll open things up. And I'm going to mark out that TOG, and we will go to the pre-market levels. Let that 1 minute candle close. So the way I mark my BOGs and TOGs, bottom of the gap, top of the gap, is based on the 1 minute. It's based on the 1 minute. Okay, AMD call trigger, keep a close eye on AMD. Strikers, all right. Again, let the dust settle off the very open. You don't want to be clicking buttons off the open. Let the dust settle. It's a mess. Gap within the gap within the gap. Okay, let's go right here and boom. So that gives us some insight. All right, down goes the Dow, down goes IW to kick things off, and to the upside, the Qs go. So the question becomes, can the Qs get above 706.49? Can the Qs get above 706.49? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if the audio is good, guys. Folks on YouTube, if the audio is good, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, thumbs up in the chat. So daily open for today, 735.69. 735.69. AMD. It's been years since I traded AMD. And if it presents an opportunity today, okay, count me in. Tesla's going. So the ideas for today, keep a close eye on Amazon, okay, Apple, Tesla, AMD. Hold above that AMD would be good. SoFi. Look how that lines up with that weekly open. SoFi, all right, and UPS. UPS rejecting off of that as the Dow dumps. Okay. Look at the Dow. Dow goes down. So this morning we discussed with our team, guys, how all of the major indexes were going the same way. But now one of them is diverging. One of them is doing its own thing, which is the Qs. Qs are deciding to do their own thing. Qs are deciding to do their own thing. Good morning, Fishman. Good morning, and God bless you and your family in the name of Jesus. Smash the like button. Absolutely, God bless you too. Amen, amen. God bless everyone tuning in. Good morning, BT6. Good morning, Vanus. Good morning, Mimi. Good morning, good morning. We have over 130 people joining us. So again, guys, let's hit that like button. All right, hit that like button. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg, all right? It just requires just a click of a button. And it does tremendous things for the growth of our channel and our program. Now, Qs continue to push higher, guys. Qs are above that 706.49, which is that daily upside breaker. The Dow and IW dumping here off the open. We are seeing some strength on AMD. Do I have AMD on this list? Yeah, AMD. So AMD is above that daily upside breaker. AMD is directional. Intel is directional. SNDK is directional. Lilly's directional. So a lot of those semiconductor names are starting to get bought up. Tesla's directional. So you see this dashboard, guys. It also tells you where it is in relation to its bigger picture levels. All right, so you can see Apple is now is looking to go directional. Apple, nice break on Apple. AMD, gone. Apple, starting to pump. Why did my alert go off on Apple? Okay, it's fine. It's okay. All right, SPY continues to chop inside. All right, so this is going to be predicated on what the Qs do. As the Qs are pushing higher, okay, the question becomes, can those semis continue to push? Because the Dow's dumping. The Dow's at that daily downside breaker team. The Dow was very close to the lows of yesterday. So major sell-off on the Dow to kick things off. So if the Dow falls below that daily downside breaker, okay, the Dow is the first one to give. The Dow is the first one to break down, and now it's well below that weekly downside breaker. Okay, the Dow selling off here. There was another name that was Uber I want to bring to your attention. SPY falling off a cliff. Everything's starting to fade here. There we go. We're headed towards PML. Our first test of PML. Qs are starting to fall as well. So no positions currently. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. The Dow is below that daily downside breaker. Unless we go hammer here, you can see the Dow continue to push. So SPY is within prior day's range. Okay, now let me. This context is key. So we have prior day's range. Okay, and we're inside prior day's range, and we're smack dab in the middle at the midpoint of prior day's range. On top of that, we gapped down yesterday, and we gapped up today. And we got into the jaws of that gap down, and now we're looking to fill that gap up from today. we're looking to fill that gap up from today. So we have a nice little key zone here. Okay, VIX starting to push. VIX is starting to push here. SPY is testing that 50% retrace. The Dow's getting bought back up off those lows. Again, stubborn buyers. Stubborn buyers. Booked the 40% on the runners. Good, good, good. The ones that are directional to the downside are Netflix. Netflix continues to get sold off. Okay, Netflix below the daily downside breaker. Netflix below VWAP. We got Meta. Meta also directional to the downside. So what kind of response do we get off that 734.59 territory? We're starting to see the Dow get bought up here. Down goes Bitcoin, going back to that weekly open. So Bitcoin flat on the week. Flat on the week. Nvidia dumped. Gap update. All right, so now we can allow this, right? I'll still subscribe to the fact that this is okay. We still, within this bearish channel, we have a nice little trend line support. So if we make it lower, low, that's going to start to break down. So we came into this the top of that channel, we rejected off it. We have a little bit of room to continue to push. Okay, so the question becomes, do we get that lower low? We got relative equal highs up there. Okay, that's what a double top is. And then now, which way do we decide to go? So VIX is back above 18. VIX back above 18. SPY testing 50% retrace. Okay, this runway, if the SPY starts to slide, this is the runway. Okay, this is the runway that bears are salivating over. Okay, break below PML, break below the BOG, and just, this is a clean runway. Up top, all right, the clean runway up top to the upside is reclaim that daily open and start to push towards that 50% retrace of the gap down from yesterday. In between here, team, in between here, look at all those levels there. It's gonna be contention. All right, so those are the two areas where we have a couple of runways, but we can get a couple of clean moves and we get into those the jaws of that territory. Okay, the Dow's getting bought back up. See if that's legit. Going back to test that VWAP. Qs are starting to get sold off now. Okay, Qs are starting to get sold off. Okay. Apple's still holding up. Apple's still holding up. See if we can hold above that $300.50 50 cent mark. Okay, buyers starting to step in here. Okay, but taking that bounce off that 50% retrace. Taking that bounce off that 50% retrace. Okay, nice rejection off that daily open. So everything is below the VWAP except for IW. IW is above that VWAP. IWM that is. So we can anticipate this whipsaw action. Tesla's starting to go. Yeah, Tesla was one of the names from this morning. Yep, Tesla's nice and strong. So Tesla's a candidate for, of course, shockwave. keep in mind those contracts on those mega cap tech names, guys, they do expire today. So those are going to be 0 DTEs. Keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, so see if Tesla continue to push. Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. Shockwave on Tesla, if it comes into play, I'm looking at the 420s, okay? 420s. Treat them like zeros. Keys continue to go back and forth. Piano keys on the 5. SPY trying to wick, get a nice little candle there. We have 2 minutes left. As you're coming in, guys, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe as well. Goal is to get as close as possible to 5,500 subs by the end of the month. We're closing in on it right there. All right, so if we can get to 5,300 subs this week, by today, which is very possible, that will lighten the load for us going to next week. All right, next week is a holiday. Keep that in mind as well. Our first long weekend in a long time. When you start doing this for a long time, guys, you'll start to enjoy those breaks, where you can let your guard down and breathe a little. So this is the path that the bulls are taking currently, as flat as can be. So what I want to bring to your attention again is we're inside on the daily. All right, we're inside on the daily. All right, are these moves scalpable? Absolutely. All right, but you have to ask yourself, if I'm looking for that bigger move, I might as well wait. Okay, Qs are trying to fuel up here. Q 70726 will be critical. IW, sneaky move on IW. You're not going to get past me. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Shenanigans starting already. Here we go. IWM, okay. Okay, it looks like Shockwave's coming to play. We're in that second runway. We're above that daily open. IW is starting to fly. My Shockwavers continue to take the names that are moving. Okay, IW is starting to go. Qs are trying to break. SPY above 736.11. We have room into that 736.76. Look how quickly that took place. SPY, I'm looking at the 737s, no position currently. We'll wait. If you took IW, if you're right on the money, boom, took off. If you're waiting for that extra confirmation, continue to wait. Right, this is the runway they want to pursue, right? So from here to here, it has a clean move, but it has a nice little resistance up there. So SPY can start to come in. Tesla, I'm just going to set my alert on Tesla and move along. Okay, if it wants to do something, well, let us know. Outside of that, we'll let it do what it needs to do. AMD is trying to retest that weekly open. If there's enough bars off that weekly open, see if AMD can get enough fuel to continue to push above those highs. SPY come back and test this area. Okay, Apple. There goes SPY, guys. Look at IWM. Scale on IW, scale on SPY if you took that. Scale, scale, scale. I'm looking at Apple here, the 302.50s. Apple can get back above that level and print me a signal, I'll be there. Okay. I do like that inside candle on Apple on the daily. I like the fact that we broke above that candle's high. So Apple. Okay, so what's starting to go here? Amazon starting to go. First signal on Amazon. Amazon triggered that level from this morning as well. Amazon shockwave and trigger that level from this morning. Scale out on Amazon. I'll be there on the retest for Amazon. Okay, if you caught SPY, congratulations. Amazon, I'll be looking at the let me get the contracts ready for that retest. It does come into play, 265s. So treat these contracts on these mega cap tech names, guys, as 0 DTEs, which they basically are. By definition, they basically are. All right. SPY come back into there. Count me in. So SPY came into this runway, nice little push up. Scale out on the Qs. Scale out on IW, I should say. Okay, QQQ. That's the laggard in this case. Trying to hold that PMH. See, Qs can give me a nice little retest of this territory here. There seems to be the laggard. SPY and IW, small caps and SPY continue to push. QQQ, I'm looking at the 708s. Okay, I want to see a nice little decisive response off that level. If we can get that, that'd be great. Give me a nice little response off that, reclaim it. Amazon coming back into play. I want buyers to step in there. Okay, I'll take the Qs right there. I'm in the Qs. The risk is that daily upside breaker. Okay, I'm in the Qs. Average fill 270. That's 708 calls. My risk is right here. Close below here. Close below that daily upside breaker. Okay, aggressive recoil on the Qs. Down 8, down 10. I'm gonna get stopped out right there. On the Qs, 15%. So stopped out the Qs, 15%. Quick 15%. So first trade Qs stopped out. If it can come for that reclaim, count me in. All right, that reclaim entry's always cleaner in this case. Amazon is brewing. QQQs can come back in, count me in. I want them to hold that level. Okay, I'm gonna get back in the Qs. So I'm back in the Qs. So not the best entry, but same stop. So see if you can get above that PMH. So second attempt on the Qs after getting stopped out. If we fall back under that level, they'll get stopped out again. Okay, so no close below here. That PMH rejection is nasty. Down 12, 13. I gotta get out there again. Stopped out again. So 2 stop outs on the Qs in less than 10 minutes. Both at 15. So couldn't get that follow through. PMH is too strong. Okay, so I'll wait for the Qs. If they can come back into play, that'd be great. Back to SPY. SPY, get back above that level. That reclaim is good. QQQ, not even 10 minutes. That thing's moving. So we're at that daily open on SPY, so you get that continued bounce. CV that continue to bounce. SPY coming back into play. No link, long link into the tasking. Chomp. So Qs are trying to get back, at least hold above that VWAP. At least hold above that VWAP. See if SPY can come back into play here. Just to get that reclaim on SPY. See if they continue to push. Okay, I want that hold above that level. So QQQ. Okay. So these were the two trades I took here. So two trades in that area. Could have waited for the reclaim, maybe just a little bit of rushed entry on both trades. But it needs to reclaim this territory here. It needs to reclaim that PMH and continue to push higher. Continue to push higher. See SPY hold that above that level. A lot of chop here. Still within that range. See if we can hold above that level, get a signal to print. So we did see buyers protected off that daily open. If we just zoom out just a little bit, okay, before I get too excited, all right, just zoom out just a little bit. Where are we? We're still in this area. We're still in this area. All right, so we know that the big moves take place on the other side of patience. Tesla. Nothing on Tesla, waiting for that reclaim on Tesla. Google Meets link is in the Discord. Google Meets link is for our members in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, you'll have access to the Google Meets. You will have access to the Google Meets. Qs continue to drop. Okay, so those are the two first trades so far. I mean, in hindsight, of course, we're all brilliant and magnificent. I do like this initial entry here. All right, the reclaim entry would have been better, but that second attempt might have been too premature. Might have been a little too premature, but regardless, got stopped out twice, 15%. All right, so once it did break below this level once again, I had to get out of there. All right, now the Qs are looking to go back to the other side. So the Qs are still, unlike SPY, the Qs did peak above that daily upside breaker. So that's what I was looking to see if there was some support off prior day's highs. If there was any support off that area, that's why I use that area as that stop. If there was, great. If there isn't, then I want no parts of it. Okay, Amazon, Apple, Apple testing that weekly open. Tesla, a little messy here on Tesla. Okay, Tesla's trying to bounce off that PMH. AMD just whipsaw back and forth. SoFi, UPS. See if UPS can come back with that retest. Some other individual names here. Okay, SPY. So I'll be patient. We'll be patient here. The Qs are trying to bounce off that daily open. See if you get that back above that VWAP. Look at the candles on the 5 on SPY. The big move again is going to be maybe second shift and a half. Our India community, AV music, if you are, is posted in Discord, posting the WAP. Okay. Very messy action here. How are we doing, guys? 20% IWM. IWM went. Apple supplies on Apple looking good. Now that has potential. Hold up 276 before I take another one. IW is ripping and running. IW, count me in if you can come back, retest. Come back and retest that 275.30. So IW small caps. Once that broke, that left the station. Okay, IWM. The Dow and IW are clean. Give me that signal, and then you can take that entry there if that's too late for you. So very similar setup to what the Qs did. So again, what I'll look for is, like we talked about it yesterday, how it likes to break below level, and sometimes the best entry is the breakdown and then get back into it and then reclaim it. So I'll look for that kind of setup here. There's a lot of key levels here on IW. All right. So if those key levels don't hold, then that will be the invalidation marker. We have that daily open, we have that PMH, we have that daily upside breaker. So betting on these key levels to hold. All right, so that'll be brewing. It'll be available soon. SPY is trying to go. UPS coming for that retest. Close eye on UPS. UPS needs the Dow to hold the VWAP. That daily open, does the daily open hold? Or does the daily open fold? Again, guys, make sure to like the video on YouTube. Let's get the likes up. Make sure to like. Make sure to like the video. So SPY gave you that quick, I mean, you have to be a sniper to catch this for 0.5 R. All right, so basically 0.5, close to 1 R. So this 0.5 means at least 0.5 R you can extract out of it. Apple alerts out on Apple as well. All right, so I have to be patient. If you're catching a nice move, okay, TP. If you're getting stopped out, obey your stops. Obey your stops. I feel like I'm driving without a rear view mirror. No side mirrors or rear view mirrors. One of my screens is out. But that's a good thing. In the long term, that's a good thing because you want to be able to trade under any circumstance, right? Sometimes you want to be in an uncomfortable position. And if you're in that situation, probably want to size down as well because you're at a disadvantage, but you want to put yourself in that position to see if you can trade like that. If you trade one ticker, you can. If you trade one ticker, you can. So the screen that you see on Google Meets, guys, just this screen. If you're trading SPY is all you need. Just that screen is all you need. As we start to dump here, see if IW can come back to that area for that retest. We have that 9 as well there. So IW will get the contracts loaded, and everything else I'm going to be a little more patient. Got a little excited on the Qs. Okay, we're starting to get a structural breakdown here. All right, starting to get a structural breakdown. We're getting towards that PML. So if you're looking to take shockwave here, guys, momentum is very low. Be a sniper. Be mindful of that trap there. Okay, a lot of back and forth. Small caps still have some strength. SPY below VWAP. Q below VWAP. Dow below VWAP. Only thing pushing up is small caps. Walmart. Okay, for the puts, it's trading earnings, of course. Google for the puts. Google was nice for the puts. PML retrace reject as well. What else? MU by SNDK. MU, look at that chart, guys. So be careful taking MU off those lows into lower lows. It can pop anytime. All right, so MU is a mover. It can move multiple dollars as it goes. So MU is in play right now, right into the lows of the day. If you want to take that into the lows of the day, that gives you about a $3-4 move on MU to the downside. All right, because MU can pop anytime. So you don't need to catch a lot on MU because it covers a lot of ground. ATR on MU is $5, guys. Okay. What else went? SNDK, MU, Pepsi, UPS to the upside, Intel, AMD. UPS. UPS is not a mover like everything else. We're just kind of UPS. See if UPS can get above these highs. If it can't, look for the head and shoulder on UPS back to downside. The Dow falling off a cliff. IWM coming for that retest. IWM coming for that retest. All right, give me that reclaim entry. So I'll look for that reclaim entry, looking at the 276s on IW. Excuse me. So IW will look for IW here, 276s. That 9 EMA is right there. Let that 5-minute candle finish selling. Okay, it looks like there's a little more selling left on that 5. If you can sweep these lows, that'd be great. IW hit scale out already, so 0.5R on IW. The Qs continue to dump, guys. Qs are right at that daily open. I want to see how this 5 holds up. Okay, if you took it already, manage accordingly. You can just pull back just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That 5-minute, if you want to go 5 for 5 on the 5, we have a hammer brewing on the 5 off that 9 as well. Wait, still haven't swept these lows yet. You might be interested in sweeping these lows right at that 275.19. Because the main thing is everyone's paying attention to this, right? Trying to position themselves for this potential break. You know, take IW there. IWM. TP1 hit. Tesla trying to get back above VWAP. See if Tesla can wake up. IW, if you caught IW, manage accordingly. Tesla. All right, you can even target this resistance right there initially, and then see if it see what happens there. If it turns into a breakout, all right, you're a big winner as opposed to just a regular winner. The Google Meets link is in the Discord, guys. Are you guys having issues with the Google Meets link? If you are having issues, all right, it is here. Google Meets link is right there. Okay. Who took IW? If you took IW, dollar signs in the chat. That's a nice, respectable scalp. More than a nice, respectable scalp. Interestingly enough, IW is the only one that's moving to the upside. Okay. If you're just jumping in, guys, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe. So far, I took two trades on the Qs, back to back, stopped out. Okay, Google. Tesla might be setting up to the downside as well. Tesla really interested in there. Now watch out for that daily upside breaker. So nice area to TP right here. So if you TP as a scalper, you're good, knowing that situational awareness, chart awareness, there's resistance there. Because now, look at this entry. If you take the calls here versus if you take the calls there for that breakout, it's almost like you're going to be in before the breakout. And then if the breakout doesn't come to fruition, your trailing stops will get stopped out. Okay, starting to see the Qs continue to push. We're highly contesting that daily open. The Qs cannot seem to create separation away from the daily open. No surprise, because Nvidia. What's Nvidia doing? Someone go look at Nvidia's IV. What's going on? Nvidia's IV. If you take a look at Nvidia's IV, what does Nvidia's IV say? Okay, it's at 94%. So very well, in the next few hours, it's going to start to get to 100, 120, 115. So if Nvidia can reclaim daily open, more than likely the Qs will try to bounce off daily open. So Nvidia for me, not tradable here. If they reject off this level, down go the Qs. So nice scalp there. If you took that scalp on IW, good. As you're coming in, guys, make sure to like the video. Let's get the likes up. Beautiful job, Lou. Spot's coming to the other side of that breaker, guys. Again, just if you're taking shockwave down here, just do your level due diligence, right? We do have that PML. We do have a tendency to grab things. All right, so keep that in mind. If we get that nice little bounce off that area, because the main pursuit is right here. If we break below PML and get past that 733.96 area, right, we can really start to break down. But there's a good chance that buyers can try to protect and play defense here. Okay, they can try to protect and play defense. Down go the Qs. So just be mindful of that. Have that extra layer, additional layer of confluence. If you're going the other way, if you're taking that bounce, 2 down, 2 up combo off that level will be sufficient if you trade double bottoms. See if Shockwave can give us something. Okay. Want to see a nice little close below there. Want to make sure it clears that area. And the IV on SPY, guys, IV on SPY, little elevated. Why is it elevated? Because of NVIDIA earnings. Let's get that hold. If we can get that hold, we'll be good to go. I want the Qs to hold below that level as well. Hold below this yellow box. All right, because what you're doing is you're looking for the double bottom not to come to fruition. Looking for the double bottom not to come to fruition. So let's get that nice closure below it. If we get that, I'm looking at the 733s on SPY. And we're just trying to rule out any double bottom, any shift low, or these low, grab this low. That's what I'm trying to rule out here. If you're going the other way, you see, just like that. So if you took that at face value, you get stopped out. But if you did a little bit of technical due diligence, you just avoid that because everything's bouncing. Look at that. They're coming. They're coming for traders who are trading continuation. Because you see that squeeze. Look at that. So we haven't seen this kind of candle, and this candle just goes. Look how erratic it is. Look how long it took us to break down, and then we get this one candle that just swoosh back to daily open. If this is legit, if we reclaim the daily open, IW, focus on IW. IW, I'm back to the upside for the calls. The 276s. But it's not fully legit unless we reclaim that daily open. If you took that PML bounce, if you took the key zone bounce in the face of that selling, you probably caught the biggest move of the day, but look how erratic it is. Almost hit that buy. You know, just waiting, and also understanding just situational awareness, right? I do not care about the bottom. Got 2 stop loss on the R15. For the third time now, risk management matters. Yep, risk management, that's all you can do. Manage that risk. Do a little bit of your just technical know-how, understanding, you know, past couple of days we've been doing X, Y, Z. And our inability to create separation away from here, right? So the kryptonite for momentum indicators is this. Momentum traders, this is the kryptonite. So this week is a kryptonite for traders who like to trade those expansions, momentum. And even these calls here, if you took the calls there, it happened so quickly. It's almost like you had to catch it right there. You had to be in before the move. 2 down, 2 up off of it. And look at that. Just a complete blast off. They got what they needed. Look. There's a squeeze. Okay. That's why it's going so aggressively. We literally went from PML to PMH in 3 minutes. You guys see this? Who's in this? Anyone riding this? Q's come back and test PMH at least 707.58. Okay. SPY, this expansion, you have to just take the break, right? And this week is going to be very, very testing of your entries, your exits, your stops. That's what it's really testing. Whipsaw, Nvidia. I might have to go with mean reversions. Wait for second shift mean reversion. Look at IW, which already had that strength. Continues to push. That was a nasty trap that they pulled. Look at this. This is where SPY is, right? So we opened up, we came here, we initially bounced, we dropped, and went boom, whipsaw. So do we have enough liquidity now to hold above 737.63 and start to head towards that area there? That's a $1 million question. $1 million question. IWM, look at the IW, it's back above that weekly downside breaker. Crude falls off a cliff. Bitcoin trying to catch a bid, trying to cross that 77,300. Q's trying to hold above that 737.63. Very messy chart. Very messy chart. So all of them are on the same page. And the IV on SPY, look at the IV on the Qs, guys. IV on the Qs continues to push 38%. IV on SPY, there's the highest IV we've seen on SPY. Highest IV we've seen on SPY in quite some time, 26. If you're tuning in for the first time, make sure to like the video. PMH bounce on the Qs. Shenanigans are news. Trap in both directions, 100%. That's what they're looking to do, guys. They're playing a vicious game. All right, so if you're able to see what they're playing, right, you can better navigate. The market's goal is, all right, for you to go into Memorial Weekend miserable. Okay, that's the market's goal. That's the market's goal, to liquidate your account before Memorial, long weekend. And you can sit in that feeling, come back the next week, and then just go over the top. So keep that in mind. IW, that was a nice reclaim on IW. Dow's out of here as well. QQQ scale out. SPY, TP2 hit on SPY with that massive candle. So we already hit PMH and we already hit PML. Okay, let's clean up the drawing a little bit here. Starting a little hectic. A lot of kilos in this area. A lot of kilos in that area. Okay, so now, as we're doing this, we are on the verge of potentially, if we can hold above that daily upside breaker, so prior day's highs. If we don't go triple top, if we can hold above that daily upside breaker, okay, that means, all right, this low that came in here, okay, with this low that came in here, do we get a lower low? No lower low in play, so they were able to hold that high structurally, hold these lows structurally, and make them print higher than these highs, higher than these lows. And then now, well, we're trying to break out of here. Okay, we're just trying to break out. That's what they're trying to do. If we can hold above that daily upside breaker, that opens up the runway between here and here. Nice and runway right there. That daily upside breaker, and that those two key levels are going to be right here. Between, right here, this nice little zone. Because we're starting to run away. Look at IW. 105, beautiful job, guys, on YouTube. Good. Contract prices are moving too aggressively for my state. Yep, 100%, guys. 60% on SPY calls. Beautiful. Those contracts, they're trying to price in NVIDIA. Okay, the big dog is reporting earnings today, the headliner. Okay, all these other companies, they're the opening act. All right, they're the opening act. They're putting on their show, and now the headliner is about to step on the stage. %, SPY. IW, that was nice in IW. IW came right in, swept those lows, right, and then boom, gets that break. Right, it's gonna be very difficult for the sellers to overtake all these key levels converging together. On top of that, you have that 9 right there. That 9 right there. And IW is at TP2, trying to go to TP3. And we have that monthly open, weekly open all the way up here. So if IW wants to get back to being flat on the week, okay, 278, 74 is the target. If you're looking for that structural retest, weekly upside breaker, weekly downside breaker, actually, last week's lows. Okay, pair that up with the EMA. Some price action. That'll be it, but don't chase. If you're waiting for shockwave once again, all the way down here. All the way down there, okay? We're 6 minutes away from the conclusion of first shift, guys. Make sure to like the video. Let's get the likes up. We'll do the giveaway. If we get 100 likes before 10:30, so we'll be scheduled for a giveaway. Okay, we'll be scheduled for a giveaway. See how many likes we got. We have 203 people joining us on YouTube. All right, so let's do the giveaway, guys. Let's get to 100 likes in the next 5 minutes. Very doable. So we almost have 4x the amount of people tuning in to the amount of likes we have. So let's get that done. So SPY goes to that PMH, gets above it, grabs those highs, gets back below it. Now we're back in range. And look at all these levels, guys. Look at all these levels. Look at all this traffic. All right, so the 2 trades that I took earlier, 2 stop outs. Right, could have been a little more patient. Right, maybe I was a little overly excited, but sometimes it does happen. And when I do that, I just try to manage that risk. So I did take 2 trades there. You can go back and watch how those trades played out. Stopped out 15% apiece. Okay, IW, a couple of opportunities there. All right, SPY, very messy. So the best move is basically this key zone bounce. This key zone bounce, okay, trapping all those momentum traders was the best move. So we were 4 minutes away from first shift, conclusion of first shift. So we'll have a lot of insight on how we interact with those highs and lows of the shift. That will give us a lot of insight on what to look for. Beautiful job, Lynn, 75%. Anyone else? How are you guys doing? How we doing on Google Meets? Tesla Shockwave, good. 100 likes, we're almost there. All right, so I have 200 plus people joining us. So it's very doable. Very doable. SPY continues to march forward. If you're holding runners, if you have noise suppression on, trailing stop on. Okay, you can start doing something else. Sometimes the best way to just babysit a position is to take the majority off and then just let it do its thing and go do something else. IW, let's see what's moving and grooving. For some reason I can't close. Can't X out. Oh, Tesla, the call triggered Tesla retested this territory. Okay. So Tesla does not have any major momentum to continue to expand beyond the opening range, but there can be a nice little retest on Tesla off that 405.63. Keep a close eye on that. This general zone. All right. So now the question is, we broke above these highs. We got a nice high. Do buyers step up here? If there's any signs of buyers stepping up here, there's a worthy place to allocate risk. Because the invalidation marker would be, okay, there's no buyers that step up here, then we more than likely want to come into these lows here or possibly continue to sell off. Right, so that might be a worthy area to allocate some risk there on Tesla. So keep a close eye there. Daily upside breaker retest, we'll get alerted then. What I want to open up is this. For some reason, this one is not giving me the option. Look at IW, guys. IW, that is what I wanted to see. Okay, SPY, trying to maybe possibly flag downward compression. Possibility. Let's see what's moving and grooving here. So far, we got MU trying to make Apple trying to make a nice recovery. Apple flat on the day. Nice bounce off that PML. Nice double bottom off that PML. Very similar to SPY, but not the same extent. SPY, that PML double bottom drove it all the way to the highs of the day. Microsoft, look at this whipsaw action, nothing there. Palantir is trying to hold that 135. See if Palantir can continue to push. Nice calls on Palantir. If you took that, 2R already hit. Great job. JPM, okay, JPM for the calls. Okay, if you took that, 2R on JPM, continues to push. AMD also came into play. I see as you had stopped out in AMD, you take it again, you make it back, and it goes 2R. Meta, possible inverse head and shoulder on Meta. Actually, I'll keep a close eye on Meta. Ooh, spreads. I like to buy at the ask to get those fills. A little spready here for me, about a 20-cent spread. So just be mindful of the spreads. Mind the spread. Nice little bounce on Nvidia, of course not tradable, but if you do decide to trade it, despite the IV, you can make something happen there. Intel, is Intel's IV back below 100? That's the question. Intel's IV just refuses to go lower. Intel's IV is higher than Nvidia's IV, and Intel's not reporting earnings. So Intel, if you'd like to trade Intel, there's calls there. Okay, Exxon Mobil, what's going on with Exxon today? SPY continues to push, guys. 737.63 retest. Exxon 161.08. Retrace reject. For the puts, back into PML. Exxon also a little spready. Walmart reporting earnings on Thursday. Walmart, you take the puts on Walmart. Okay, you get boom, 4R, 2R a piece. Google to the downside. SPY continues to fly. Google, that played out nicely as well. Even gave it a nice little re-entry. Okay, a little bit of a re-entry there. PML retrace reject. TSM TSM, beauty on TSM after getting stopped out. All right, so again, we continue to see these entries. All right, those entries are starting to really start to make a big difference. The way you enter, so you can be right, but if you have the wrong entry, it might require double to re-engage, because we're seeing this phenomenon of break below level instead of a retrace reject, retrace reclaim. Okay, retrace reclaim. We're seeing that kind of entry play out nicely past a handful of days. Amazon, what's Amazon up to? Amazon comes into PML, bounce off that PML, all right? So bounce off that PML, and then continues to push, comes in for the calls, you miss that entry, fine. You take this call, you miss that entry as well, fine. This clean entry comes into play, scale at a 0.5 or 2R. Broadcom inverse head and shoulder, gets above that daily upside breaker, calls, continues to push, 2R on Broadcom as well. Last but not least, Tesla. Right, see if Tesla can stay above water meaning stay above that PML, decisively reclaim it, okay, and start to really break out here. If we can break out there, that'd be great. And that's pretty much, okay, we got ARM, okay, ARM, out of here. FTC open antitrust probe into ARM Holdings. MRVL, Boeing, SoFi, XYZ, Hood, MSTR. Okay, some of those names are starting to go. All right. Okay, so now we're above that daily upside breaker. It's officially second shift. So second shift, first shift highs are right there. We swept first shift highs. So if you're a trend trader, you're looking for pullbacks into the 9, hammer, technical levels. IWM is unstoppable. If you took IWM, congrats. Took SPY, looks like it wants to trend. Beautiful job, SPY. Headed back towards weekly open. 100%. QQQ looking good. So now as things, so the action is ugly, but it's grinding higher. Right, so the one thing you need to take into consideration is the contracts are a little more pricey. All right, so if you still maybe want to use less contracts, but use the same amount of capital, you have to get less contracts. So now IW is the one that's just continuing to go. Let's throw some EMAs on it. All right, once you get a name that's trending, all right, you can start to use the EMAs. Okay, that's what the EMAs are designed for, guys, right? So slap the EMAs on the chart. Okay. 150% for Turbo. Beautiful job, Turbo. So what I would like on IW, the dip buy on IW would be right here. Okay, 278.45. The shallow is first EMA. There's no real key level there. Okay, no real key level here. So there's the shallow. I would say the shallowest area is right here. Some kind of hammer off that level. Okay, but one thing you need to be aware of is we did grab first shift highs. We did grab first shift highs. So that means as it comes into this area, you're going to see the same thing that took place. You're going to see a nice 1 minute candle and a pop to the upside. Does this pop to the upside need to go all the way to the moon? No, it doesn't need to go all the way to the moon. You can take it back if you're scalping, back into the 9, back until you see some double-digit appreciation. All right, and then if it starts to really work in your favor, you can just let the runners start to go maybe into the highs of the day. But the best buy on IW besides the initial entry is right here, that weekly downside breaker, prior week's lows. And if we draw a nice little trend line off the two lows that we did see, okay, those two lows are higher. Well, all we need to do is grab these lows, and there we go. Okay. There we go. All right, you can see now this area presents the dip buy. Does the dip buy come into play all the time? Probably not, but if it does, that's the area. Shallow, right here. You can do a 1 for 1, 5 for 5, very tight risk. You can even use the other EMA as your risk as well. All right. If I was looking to go short, I'll look for a reversal pattern into this trend line support. Okay, I got this left, I got this head. I'm going to allow buyers to push this thing back up as long as it doesn't get above there, and see if I can short it from there. Into where? Into maybe the EMAs or into this area. All right. Tesla inverse head and shoulder, not playing out nicely there on Tesla. Okay, SPY's looking to test that dead upside break in that PMH. Blind squirrel finds it every once in a while. SPXW, look at that, beautiful job. Those are the zeros, 163%. Monster catch. 24K. What a trade. Was it based off of this? That 100+% is probably right here. So if I had to guess, the end, that was probably that trade right there. Okay, it was right there. All right, because there is no other 100% opportunity. So when you see that 100% opportunities, you have to say, where did it come from? Right here. So a tremendous job on taking that nice little hammer off that double bottom. PML right there. Price action combo works in your favor. Look at that catch, guys. 24K, almost 25K. Okay, nice quarter there. Beautiful. I want to believe that SPY broke the bearish trend, but it could still be trapped. But SPY didn't break out on the channel with strong candle. Yeah, the thing now is, okay, we know there's aggressive the aggressive buyers, or I've been calling them the stubborn buyers this week. The stubborn buyers are here, right? And they're not too interested in buying momentum. They're interested in buying at very close to the lows of the day or very close to the structural lows. Right, and that's where we keep seeing them buy. That's where we keep seeing them appear. Okay, so congratulations. That's a huge trade, guys. Look at that. Double up for Devil Dog. Only in trading. Only in trading is that possible. All right. I'll look for something here. SPY's looking to retest that daily upside breaker. If you're waiting for that 9, right? If you're going that 9, you're mine with that key level. Right here, 730, 733, 730, 724. If we continue to push, if that 9 can start trailing into that daily upside breaker, that'd be great. That 9 is like right over here. That 9 is right over there. One of our members off of this, guys, right here, this bounce, 30K, 25K. 25K. So congratulations. Tesla continues to not do much here. Amazon, see if Amazon can hold about that call trigger. Apple, they present a nice little scalp the upside, giving that back now. AMD is gone. SoFi, brewing. UPS, nice break on UPS. Where's my chart? Okay, here we go. Okay, 30% on puts booked. Beautiful job, Mimi. Again, guys, make sure to like the videos. Let's get the likes up. I'm going to check the likes here. If we're above 100, we'll do a giveaway. We will do a giveaway. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. Let's get as close as possible to 5,300 subs. If you're looking to join the community, Make sure to click the link pinned in the chat. Use the code TRIAL30, 30% off your first month. If you're looking for shockwave indicator, you can also purchase that. We'll talk about that in detail shortly here. Okay, IW, that 9 your mind, and that key level coming up. So it looks like that 9 is going to coincide with this right here. So I would still deem this shallow. AMD, all right, that was the idea this morning. Okay, so yesterday I didn't give out any ideas. Today, sent them out. Okay, Amazon, make sure to check that growth idea, guys. Apple, provided that scalp. Tesla, waiting for that retest. AMD, right? So calls above 428.75. Downward compression, break. That's all she wrote. And SoFi still brewing. Right, so make sure to review that, guys. There's not going to be an idea every day, right? So there can't be something every single day, but when it does appear, okay, run that through your filter, see if there's anything there for you, and then look to take advantage. Look to take advantage. I'm going to see how many likes we got, guys. I'm going to refresh and see if we have 100. We have one giveaway that we're going to do. It doesn't always work out like that 90% of the time. I'm still down 285. Long way back. Yep. Little by little, you'll recoup. Little by little, with the right approach, you'll recoup. Think of it as a student loan. Okay, 285K to attend a prestigious trading academy. And what made me stick around to trading is, in the beginning I was losing a ton, right? But just a simple thought of, if I'm losing this much and I have no idea what I'm doing, there is a possibility to make half of what I'm losing if I have a small idea of what I'm doing. Right? It's a really weird, really weird way of thinking about it, but that was the light bulb for me. Right? I was just thinking, okay, I'm losing, but okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So if I can win as much as half I lost, and have and know some idea of what I'm doing, and put a couple of things in place, I have a chance. That daily upside break at 9, this area is going to be providing that nice little bounce. So we're going back to the 9s. Okay, 9 your mind. IWM is doing the same thing. So it might be hammer time. 9 your mind with the hammer. Ever since I've been with you, I've been green the whole time. It's more than red. Little by little, devil dog. Where we'll climb out of that strategically. Right. It's one thing to win and not know what you did. What's more dangerous? Okay, let's put this out there. What's more dangerous? Winning big and not knowing how you won, or losing big and not know what you're doing? I would argue winning big and not knowing how you did it is the most dangerous thing. because it's going to give you that false sense of confidence. And more than likely, if you make 50, 80, 100, 150K, you're going to think you got to figure it out. So you're going to put 300K, 400K. And then eventually you learn that lesson. So a lot of your understanding now what you're doing. You're getting better at building a system. You're getting better at managing the risk. And it's just like you're just collecting all these different pieces. When you put all the pieces together, all right, by the time you put it together, there's gonna be a hole. You're gonna be in a hole. That's the reality of the situation. Because it costs time and it costs money to collect those pieces. But if you're really committed to the journey, it's almost like the rite of passage. Right? So any beginners who are tuning in, right, you don't have to lose to that same extent. You can start small. You can start where you are. You can learn those lessons on the small scale. Right? But that's the reality of the situation. So another question I'll pose: do you learn when you win? What is the likelihood of you going back and reviewing, you going back and journaling, you sticking to the process after a big win? Right? More than likely, as humans, we're not going to do that. We tend to go back to the drawing boards after taking a big loss. Right? But if you can do it, go back to the drawing boards, look to improve regardless of outcome, then you're starting to lean towards building a system. Look at that, guys, 2,900% for Doctor, $3,000 mark. He turned a $100 account into $3,000. Not easy at all, right? And that took you since the beginning, 2026, right? So just being diligent, risk management over and over. So that's 2,900%. Not just trying to double the $100 in 2 days. So it's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort, and it's doable. I learned from my suffering, smaller account. I learned from my suffering. The more you make. I learn nothing when I win. All right, so we even have to look for things that are wrong when we win. Not only look for things that are wrong when we lose. Win, lose, or draw, you have to make those adjustments. I'm looking to get back in here. Kind of shot 2 shots. Stopped out on those 2 shots on the cues. Everything kind of took off. And now we're just stalling here. So outside of the 2 trades on the cues. So folks, I'm trading at a new location. All right, so a little excited possibly there. Coming into the day, had a good feel for what kind of action to anticipate, right? The big move is going to take place on the other side of patience. So this move takes place, and if you're buying near the top, right, it's either you're going to sit through chop or just ride the quick pop. All right, so let's see how we interact with first shift highs. down to $3. Oh, 10 monitors. Okay, okay. I thought it was $3. Yeah, 3. I use 3. 3 is good. Today I'm using 1. I'm using 1 along with my iPad. So I'm using iPad. I'm using iPad and 1 monitor. Beautiful job, Hussein. 70% of the calls on UPS. So you guys liking the ideas here? Does that help? So please do your technical due diligence on top of those, on top of that as well, guys. So add your layer of confidence to it. Okay. The point is, okay, to make you a better trader. That's the whole point. The whole point is to get you firing on all cylinders, to bring the best out of yourself. You learn more when you lose. My goodness, that was awesome. So nice bounce off that daily. Daily open that 9 as well. UPS, nice grind up. Apple. Okay. See if Apple can decisively reclaim that daily open. If you take that PML bounce into daily open, you can start taking some profits. Tesla inverse head and shoulder. See if Tesla can start to expand. PMH to retest on Tesla, between 410 and 409.51. So we're riding that 9. We're riding that 9. What's up for grabs? Big things up for grabs today, guys. So this morning we discussed how, okay, from a directional standpoint on a weekly, we're actually directional on the weekly. So what that simply means, excuse me. Okay, back. So what that simply means is we traded below last week's lows. Buyers picked it back up, but we have to give a little bit of an edge to the sellers because they're able to drive price lower. Aggressive buyers, dip buyers pick it back up. But now those sellers can lose their edge if they give up the zone. Okay, they can give up. If they give up the zone, they're going to lose their edge because now we're headed towards a possible engulfing candle on the weekly. That's the last thing the sellers want to see. All right, so very important to see what does take place as we interact with those levels. That's a major area of contention, right? Retrace, reject off of it, nice decisive reclaim, break above 740.68. Then we can really start to run to the upside. All right, so you can see a nice bounce off 50% retrace. So all these things are discussed in the morning in our pre-market prep. So for me, I could have done a better job being a little more patient, sticking a little closer to the game plan. Okay, but I'm glad that you guys were able to capitalize off those moves. Even if you took that bounce on SPY here off that PMH, along with that nice little key zone. All right, nice little scalp turning out nicely. Nice trend to the upside. Apple calls wicked cheap, so Apple does those calls probably expire today. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those mega cap tech names, those days are where you can treat those contracts as 0 DTEs. How do I join the Discord? So if you want to join the Discord, go to smartactiontrade.com or click the link pinned at the top of the chat. Okay, click the link at the top of the chat. Okay, and you can use this link as well. I'll drop the link in there. We'll go over how to join the community and all that good stuff here shortly. But since you asked, I'll put it right there in the chat for you on YouTube. Tesla's starting to go. Yeah, Tesla's trying. Tesla's reclaiming all those levels. SPY comes with that territory, bounces. So they did kind of the same thing. So off the first few minutes, they do a lot of manipulation, a lot of trap, and then go. So nice little pump fake, one runner up 30%, beautiful job. Tesla expanding. Here's UPS. Not a lot of people are looking at UPS, right? With the semiconductors running, not a lot of eyes are on UPS, but nice little technical break on UPS. Right, so you got to position yourself a little before the break. This one kind of gave that reclaim, that retrace reclaim entry there on UPS. They tried to fake everyone out there. SoFi is trying to come in as well. Matter of fact, let me see SoFi. So SoFi, those contracts are dirt cheap. SoFi 16s, next Friday's contracts. All right, so we can get this break. So this gives us a nice little room into. So by the time it wants to go for that breakout, right, it gives us a little bit of cushion into it. Okay, so keep a close eye on SoFi. Alert is set. AMD, that was another name from this morning, guys. Gone. AMD. So AMD shallow retest Monday's highs. Tesla's trying to wake up. Tesla wanted Tesla to come for that retest. Came close. Apple trying to regenerate some fuel here. Amazon's starting to go as well. So those are the names for today. Amazon, same thing with very similar setup to SoFi, all right? But Amazon is already going. So those were all the ideas for today and the watch list for today. And all of them played out nicely in some way, shape, or form. Is it a one-time payment? So it's your choice. So you can do one-time payment, 12-month access, okay, or you can pay monthly. So that's up to you. So one-time payment, $69 a month. Use the code trial30. You get 30% off your first month. There's a few spots left for that. You can do quarterly, get billed every 3 months. All right. You can get billed every year, $689. There's no lifetime for the membership, for the community. But use the code if you're looking to get quarterly or you're looking to get yearly, guys. Use the code. Never forget. Never forget. That's the Memorial Day code. You'll save 20% off the yearly. You'll save 20% off the quarterly. Okay, the monthly is already on trial. You can use that code trial. Use the code trial30. That'll save you 30%. So the entire site, Shockwave, quarterly, monthly memberships, all that stuff is 20% off. If you're looking for one-time payment, starter pack is also a great option. Okay, you have access, 12-month access to the community, and our latest indicator. Use the code. Never forget, 20% off. All right. So it's up to you. It's up to you on what commitment level you want to make. Okay. So if you're on the fence, go with the trial. 30% off your first month. Give it a spin. All right, if you're learning, if you're making some progress, go to the quarterly and then eventually to the yearly. Slow grind higher, so we've got to be patient here. SPY is actually moving 95 cents per 5-minute candle. Okay, so nice little expansion today. First time in a long time. IW is headed towards that weekly open. Your mic is far away. Can you guys hear me? If you can't hear me, let me know how the audio is. Swing on Amazon, Tesla paying out. Need PFE pump. Okay, we can hear you good. Okay. If you're having audio issues on YouTube, it's probably on your end. Just put the volume up. Or exit the stream and come back. Exit the stream and come back. Okay, so how many likes do we got? I'm not sure if we hit that 100 like mark before 10:30. Okay, but if we do have 100 likes, I will do the giveaway. I'll be a little lenient because I didn't check at 10:30 exactly. We're at 105. If we get to 150, we'll do 2 giveaways. It's been a giveaway drought for I think a week, maybe a week or so. A little bit of a giveaway drought. A couple of things I'm waiting for. I think it looks like everything just kind of took off. So retest, 9 hammer time, 9 your mind type of setup. The ones that are still brewing, Tesla can be a late bloomer. Meta is kind of doing its own thing here. Let it see if it wants to course correct. AMD, same thing, same kind of setup. Look at this mess on AMD though. Look at this mess right here. So AMD's primed to make a big move here. All right, just depends who wants it. So we made a nice little look at that retest there. So you get stopped out there. That's okay. If your stop is a little wider, if it's aggressive, right, you can take profits here. If your stop is 2R, okay, the over the long run, it's not going to make too much sense if you start to take profits at 0.5R. Right? Can you get away with it a few times if your win rate is high? Sure, but as soon as your win rate starts to normalize, right, in the long run, it's not going to work. Right? So in this case, if you have the 2-to-1, okay, you get stopped out here, you lose 1R, and then boom, you make 4R. If you scale out, you make back what you lost. If you TP at TP1, you make more than what you lost after recouping there. So it looks like NVIDIA, after making that nice little markup, okay, nice little markup, we're at a standstill here. Okay, so if we get some kind of distribution here, okay, do we get a mark down? Or do we get another continued markup? So NVIDIA, keep a close eye on NVIDIA in between this area, some kind of separation away from it would be key. Comes back into this area before 12. That'd be a good idea. But if you're implying that price can come into this area, if you're waiting for this bounce, okay, by saying that, you're saying this. You are allowing price to drop. So will there be an opportunity to ride this as well? If you're that kind of trader, possibly, but if you're waiting just for your area, just wait for that area. Intel was also one that went, but again, Intel's IV is through the roof, so Intel goes to scale out, looking to go back the other side. If Intel falls below that daily open, that PMH I should say, that could start to make a nice little push. We can possibly go, we got to give credit to this area first as support, triple bottom off of that possibly. TSM, okay, TSM nice tightening and expansion, so TSM TP1 hit, scale out TP1 after getting stopped out there. Broadcom, nice bounce off that daily upside breaker. Broadcom win as well. NVIDIA, okay, NVIDIA is the focus today. So even if you traded NVIDIA today, even though not a good idea to trade it because of the IV, you still can take this shockwave on NVIDIA. MU, okay, MU, we talked about MU, okay, if you're shorting MU here, just be very careful because MU can pop very quickly. And look what takes place. It goes to scale out, it goes to that TP1, and as the market bounces off those lows, MU gravitates back towards that PML. So even when the market bounced, MU didn't experience that push that represented that same kind of bounce. So MU is still in the negative on the daily. So if the market starts to slide, Qs and SPY starts to slide, MU back below PML. What I mean slide is get back to 737.63 on SPY, get back towards that 706.49, 707.58 on the Qs. If we can start to do that, just nice little pullback, we can see MU put some pressure on this trendline support. If it continues to climb, more than likely MU climbs off this trendline support. Okay. TP3 hit. So despite this ugliness, TP3 hit. Okay. TP3 hit. Beautiful job, Jason. Yeah, so how many likes do we have? Let's take a look. 112. Okay, let's get to 150 by 11:30. By 11:30, let's get to 150, and we'll do 2 giveaways. We will do 2 giveaways. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, guys. We'll be giving away 2 courses to 2 lucky contestants. There's no prerequisite. Everyone is eligible. Everyone is eligible for the giveaway. Okay, so this is the test zone here. Test zone here. Okay. Home Depot. Early on, I traded Home Depot. A while back when I first started trading, I took a massive loss on Home Depot. So Home Depot, the lesson I learned on Home Depot, this is a few years, more than 6-7 years ago. The lesson that I learned on Home Depot, okay, is this. So when I traded Home Depot, right, I didn't understand volume. I didn't understand volume imbalances. I didn't understand this type of price action. So I took Home Depot at that time, full size, and then I take the calls. I forgot if it was calls or puts. I remember it was a big loss, and it led to this lesson. I took the calls and literally, okay, the candles are moving, and I'm in the position, all right, and I'm thinking, and at least it's moving now because it did report earnings, but it was literally the candles are not moving, and one candle just teleported all the way for a couple of points. And then I was down 20%. And I said, when's the next candle gonna open up? And then that next candle just teleports all the way down there. And then I was down more than 50%. And then now I'm trying to get out. The spreads are so wide, I'm trying to get out, but I can't get out because the candles keep teleporting. I can't get a fill. So I was probably stuck in that position for 20, 25, 30 minutes, not knowing what's going on. Right, and it's not a good feeling to be in a position like that and learn that kind of lesson with full size because your anxiousness just goes through the roof. You're not even looking at the charts anymore. You're just panicking. You're doing all sorts of different things. So some key lessons that I got from there, all right, is understand volume and what low volume looks like, on a particular ticker. If you're looking to scalp a particular ticker and the chart looks like this, and it looks like the candles are teleporting, that means, and when you're looking at it from the 1 minute time frame, that means, okay, the price action is not as clean and has low volume. There can be imbalances. There can be gap ups with gap downs, so volume imbalances on the 1 minute. All right, so you have to factor that in. So if this happens on the underlying, what that also translates to the contracts is the contracts are going to have wide spreads, because those wide spreads are going to try to capitalize on the fact that is this erratic. All right, and that lesson was well worth it. Was a good lesson to learn, because now you know what names to avoid, and you know what names to pay attention to, you know what names to take, what names not to take, and you can make that assessment very, very quickly. So this morning, UPS, okay, when UPS is coming into play, right, we're saying UPS, okay, UPS is one of those names that can do that same kind of thing. So it's very important that you just let it kind of do its thing, let it play out, know where your risk is, because it has a tendency to do the same thing. So you can see UPS's candles. So if you did take UPS, right, it feels like a slow grind higher, and sometimes if if these volume imbalances take place, it almost looks like you're jumping up by 5 to 10% to the downside or to the upside. Right, so that was one of the most important lessons that I learned during that time. Right, is if you're going to trade massive size and you want to look to scalp it, you cannot scalp names that look like this. You have to trade these names via sitting in the position, via playing the bigger picture idea. Right, these names are not going to be favorable for scalps. Okay, let's define scalps. If you ask me what a scalp is, All right, anything under, let's even classify scalps. Anything under 5 minutes, I'll consider like a hyper scalp. So let's say anything below 15 minutes, we'll say that's a scalp. All right, anything under 5 minutes, hyper scalp. You're just in and out. Okay, so that was a huge lesson I learned. So again, very important for when you're taking those losses. Make sure those losses pay you. It doesn't make sense. Why? How can a loss pay me? Because from that day on, right, I took that lesson there. There's no video I can watch to learn that. There's no someone I can talk to tell me, hey, you know what? This is what you need to do. All right, is the losses you're taking are the perfect lessons. Okay, perfect lessons customized for you to learn from. All right, but they're going to be losses if you don't learn. But if you learn, right, did you really lose? Of course, you lost in the very moment. Yes, you tangibly lost, you factually lost. Yes, but moving forward, did you really lose? Because now you're not falling susceptible to that same thing over and over again. Because if you didn't learn, if you made that mistake once, you're gonna make the mistake again. You're gonna make it again and again and again and again. But if you learn, you're not gonna make that mistake 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, because then that will cost you. So when you learn, you're saving all the future mistakes, all the capital you'll lose from repeating the future mistakes over and over and over again. Right? And every time that happens, every time you take that loss, it's you have to take something away from it. Right? And especially if you're learning, right? Are you gonna make the same mistake twice? Absolutely. Are you gonna start to do things that you got past at time to time? Absolutely. Those things are gonna try to creep back in. But it's very important that when you strip everything away, when you're going through a tough time, that you're at your core, you return back to some kind of system. All right, think of it like this: you take big losses, you have big wins. Those big losses and those big wins almost cancel each other out. But at the core, in between what you do on 70% of the time, 65% of the time, if you're taking profits regularly and managing risk accordingly, that's what's going to boil down to. So your biggest win, they're just canceling out your biggest losses. So everything in between, right? The diligent profit taking, the trades where you take 15%, 20%, you take profits. And look at this, guys. Okay, shenanigans. Look at this. Everyone's still in this? Good, good, good. Look at that, shenanigans. Look at that. Look at that. Did you catch that lambish? 200% IW. Look at that, guys. They just woke up and said, you know what, let's buy this thing up. Let's buy this thing up. Let's buy this thing up. I mean, have no horse in the race. Man, that's very interesting to say the least. Comes into that 9, reclaims that 9. There we go. See if you can hold about that 50% retrace. So today's game plan stream, our pre-market prep, look where we are. All right, the Bears had the lead. Okay, the Bears had the lead. Okay, on a very, very good team. On one of the best teams, the Bulls. All right, and then now they're giving back that lead. If we get this close above here on the hourly, guys, right, engulfing candle on the weekly, stage is almost set. It's almost like, okay, you know what, we close above that, NVIDIA earnings comes in, and we get that push back above it. Still a little early to say, but that's what looks like. That's what the algos look like they want to do. Anyone take that? Anyone who was in a position got blessed by that nice little pop? Beautiful job, Landish. Cleveland. I missed the game last night. I just saw the final score. They blew a lead. No. Wow, 20-point lead. 22-point comeback in 7 minutes. Yeah, Cleveland. Braun back to Cleveland. So make sure to take profits. If you were in the position, right in the position, and you got that nice little pop, all right, make it count. Make it count. Amen. I was blessed. Amen, amen, amen. Now the 100 and 200 EMA golden cross on the 10-minute, and NVIDIA ripping above highs of the day. That can do it, yep. Tesla. I have another monitor, but I think the HDMI cable in my new location, I think the HDMI cable just went out. I just have no access to the other monitor. So it does feel a little different, right? I might be a little spoiled with multiple screens. It does feel a little different, but it's good to sometimes get trade in different environments. All right, especially if you're on a trade on the road, having your travel set up, right? Feeling out different environments is very important. And if you're in a different environment, maybe sizing down because you're in a different element can be also a good thing to do. Tesla came with that PMH, nice bounce off that PMH. Again, if you're not taking the profits, the market will quickly, those profits will evaporate. Okay? Because that 1 minute candle there, guys, that 1 minute candle right there, just the 1 minute, not even the 2 minutes. In 1 minute, we moved $2. Okay, so if you don't take that, we're already to that 50% retrace. This is going to be a highly, highly contested area here. We're at that weekly open, so we just crossed back to being green on the week, and we're at that midpoint of last week's range. So it looks like the Bears are about to pull a Cleveland. I'm in a winning mood. They kill me. I only hope for the Buckeyes. I think they got a pretty good team, Cleveland. I think they can pull it off. They had a long series as well, so maybe they're tired. And I think New York just will find a way to lose. All right, it's one of those franchises. All right, sorry to the Knicks fans. All right, they're just one of those franchises where they're going to find a way to lose. Cowboys, the Knicks. So if they don't find some elaborate way to lose and blow it, that's their path. But maybe Cleveland can pull that off. Tesla, nice bounce on Tesla off that PMH. So no trade so far in second shift. This nice little bounce off that PMH, that daily upside breaker was a nice little push. I want to see what kind of separation we get away from that that zone. You can see here, finally broke out. Where are we now? Okay, we get that break. All right, we didn't get that lower low. Continue to push, and then now we're officially out of this channel. How do we know we're out of this channel? Because we shift the structure. All right, this morning in pre-market we made the equal high. Okay, we made the equal high. We made a high from yesterday, equal highs. But now the question became, all right, do we get a lower low here? Or do we just get a low that's higher than this low and continue to respect the integrity of this trend line support? We sell off, we reclaim, we skyrocket above that daily upside breaker. And that's where that retest comes into play. And then now we're in this rejection zone. So now we're past this channel. So we're out of this bearish channel. We were in this channel for 3 days and some change. Okay. So now, as long as we don't get any structure shifting movement to the downside, okay, and as long as the next low that comes in is higher than this low, okay, we're scheduled to continue to push higher. Okay, now we're just in this rejection zone. We can take a brief break there. See if we can at least gravitate back towards that daily upside breaker. That would be my setup. Okay, as we're in this rejection zone, see if that some profit taking can take place, and that leads us into this daily upside breaker. Okay, that would be this test zone here. That can take place. I'll be there for it. So the big move on the other side of patience. This is the time you have to be patient. Devil Dog, are you still in the calls? If you are, that nice little spike to the upside was nice. Or if you have any runners left, that could be easily a 200 plus trade, 200+% trade. Oh, are you guys? There was no. I sent the link in. You guys didn't get the link in WAP for Google Meets. I try to send it out there. If I didn't send it out there yet, I'll send it right now. So again, ones who are members, guys, I think I can live stream on the WAP as well. Interesting. Okay, let me go address that real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna get the link here. So usually, the link is guaranteed if I'm gonna go live to be posted in Discord. Okay, and I try to post it in WAP today. I just didn't get a chance to do that, so it'll be right here. So again, for those of you who are in WAP, you can go to the Discord, have access to the Discord, you pay for the Discord. The link is also posted there. Okay. How we doing, strikers? How we doing, guys? I'm out. I'm in Tesla calls currently. Okay, good. They're crazy that the NVIDIA is reporting on makes it a break for the day for SPY 2, 100%. I can't get a faded route for Cleveland. Now the question becomes: Is Donovan Mitchell ready? Is he ready to go from, somewhat of a small star player to really taking the huge leap and trying to take Cleveland to the finals? Right, that's the question. Can he lead the troops? I think the roster is capable of getting there. Right, they have a solid roster, but can he push them forward? That's the question. Is he ready? The opportunity's there. Because after what took place, if OKC's playing today, after what Wemby did, he put the whole basketball world on notice. Right, and I don't think I've seen a young player. I haven't been paying attention too much to basketball, but before I'd watch it a lot. To give you context, my era is the AI, Vince Carter, T-Mac, Kobe, Shaq. Okay, early 2000s, late 2000s into the teens. That's the era. All right, I haven't seen anything like this. Denver today didn't reach the goal, but agree on the day. We know one person in the West is ready. So I posted the link there. If you have any chart requests, put your requests in the chat. We'll go over a top-down analysis. Let's get to 150 likes in the next couple minutes. We will do the giveaway. If you're looking to join the community, scan the code up top at the top of the screen. Link pinned in the chat as well. So 2 trades for me, 2 trades, 2 stop outs. Came in very early within 5 minutes on the cues. Nothing outside of that, some clean opportunities. Poll question for today is, how will SPY react to NVIDIA earnings? So the mic got lower, how about now? Can you hear me now? No, on YouTube. I don't think folks on YouTube can hear. Give me 1 second. Okay, you should be able to hear now on YouTube. Not sure what's going on there. So I'm waiting for this test area to come to fruition. Yep, ES futures, absolutely. We have third shift coming up in 2 minutes. So I love how second shift's lows are right here as well. So if they want to play that grab game, it's going to be right here. And I love that nice little dip buy. I'll be there for that, okay? So this is what the current path we're traveling. So you get that nice little breakdown into here, grab here, and then start to fuel up. So we'll allow that breakdown to take place to position to bring price, to draw price back into this area. Okay. So thumbs up if the audio is good on YouTube now, guys. No sound. How about now? Testing, 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 testing. Yeah, I can hear. Just put the volume up, guys. Not sure what it is here. Okay. If you are playing this breakdown, you can use that weekly open as your risk if you like. You can use that 50% retrace as your risk. Not sure what happened to the mic. That didn't change anything. I can hear you on YouTube just fine. Okay, it looks like, I don't know, it might be, some people can hear well, some people can't. Okay, 15-minute push back to downside. If we have any bulls, if we have any bears. Okay, take a close look at that 15-minute low. Why? We drove price all the way up there. Boom, they drove it all the way up there, and we push back lower because we're in a rejection zone. If there's enough of a push, break below that 738.86, can lead to the segue into here. This is where I'm looking to go long here. Right here. Tesla starting to go. Okay, Tesla, if you took that nice PMH retest, you'd be good to go. Tesla breakout brewing. Get above these highs from momentum break. That would be the area to pay attention to, of course. If you're already in off that PMH bounce or that PMH bounce, couldn't quite come to this dead upside breaker. All right. It'll be good to go. We'll be good to go. You guys can't hear on YouTube. Let me pull up YouTube on my phone. Yeah, it is a little low. I agree with it's a little low. I can hear myself. Mic check, mic check. Maybe jump out, jump back in. And you can jump back in. There's nothing I can do as far as mic is concerned at the current moment. Right, it's got to deal with what I'm working with now. Yeah, there is a delay on YouTube as well, guys. So the delay on YouTube is there for a reason. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Might start freestyling. If you can hear on YouTube, thumbs up. If you can't hear, thumbs down. Okay, thumbs down. We got one thumbs down. That reminds me of, if you guys listen to Tribe Called Quest, Five Dogs opening verse. Yeah, it must be the mic, guys. It must be the mic. So looks like we're facing some technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me know how it is now on YouTube. Should be good now. Just have to unplug the mic, plug it back in. Layer 1 troubleshooting. As long as the audio is good on Google Meets, guys, no worries on that side. Okay. Audio on the Discord good? On Google Meets? Okay, audio on both sides should be good now. Just had to do a quick refresh. Should be good on YouTube as well. So let me know if that's better. If that's better, we'll move along. We'll do the giveaway here. Okay, we're due for one giveaway. 100 likes. See if we can top that off to 150. Okay, let's get to 150. So let me know if that's better. Okay, much better. I can hear on my end. I can hear much better on my end as well. Just a trending day here, guys. Continue to expand to the upside. The Qs are at that weekly open. IWM closed back above that monthly open, so it's finally green on the week. All right, again, if you guys want to avoid the mic issue, sometimes I have technical difficulties, the ads, along with the delays, all right, now is the time to level up. Click the link pinned in the chat. You don't have to worry about any technical issues, ads, commercials, delays, so on and so forth. The premium stream is there. Yep, 100%. You're gonna make your money back in half a trade. 100%. Trump about to speak. Okay, it looks like Trump is about to speak. Okay, how am I gonna pull this up? All right, on one screen. If it's on YouTube, I can pull it up. Okay, there we go. I did get the MacBook Pro, absolute monster, the new one. All right. To give you some context, so everything that I have open is using about 2% of the CPU, less than 2%. Absolute monster. So we'll have the commencement for you. Yeah, the M5 Pro chip. NVIDIA will fly tomorrow, Alexa. Anyone having any NVIDIA trades? Guys, check out the audio source also. If you're using a dock, it can default to monitor. Sorry, I don't have the money. I have to learn how to trade in order to get enough money to join. All right, it's like, what is it? Catch 22. It's like, how can you get a job when the job requires experience, but you don't have experience? So we'll have the commencement speech here. To all the new grads, all right, congratulations. All right, graduation season. If you have anyone graduating in your family, congratulations to them. class of 2026. Membership is not an arm and a leg. All right, it's you can do the trial if it works for you, but you're investing in yourself to learn, to surround yourself with other traders, so you can put yourself in the position. Put yourself in the position. Okay, SPY continues to chop around. Let's get a quick check on everything else. Dow, AMD continues to push. Okay. AMD continues to push here. It's trying to break. Slow grind, whipsaw. Intel, not doing much. TSM already left the station. Broadcom. PMH retest on Broadcom. Ticker symbol AVGO. MU continues to grind higher. Using this path, looking to test that daily upside breaker, prior day's highs. What kind of response do we get there? Tesla. So Tesla did get a nice little bounce off that PMH. Starting to struggle between that PMH and that 413.90. So between 409.51 and 413.90. All right, just stuck in that area. Tesla continues to push higher above that weekly open. So Tesla, not Tesla, Amazon was nice. Nice move on Amazon. Palantir, complete mess. Come back into that, at least that PMH 135.25. That might even be a stretch. The 134.89 would be ideal for the calls. Apple did show some signs of life early on. Gave everything back up. Now starting to slide at the downside below that PMH. Microsoft, okay, Microsoft finally. Microsoft, nice break, continues to push 2R above that daily downside breaker, looking to reclaim the lows of yesterday. Yes, catch 22. I lost my home, but I'm hopeful. Sorry to hear. You'll bounce back. You'll bounce back. Adversity can come at any time. Adversity comes, we lose, we win. Highs, lows. Don't lose your hope, don't lose your faith. It's very easy to just call it quits. All right, the easiest thing to do is quit. The easiest thing to do is quit. Easiest thing to do is just not do anything. But what's easier? If you look 3, 4, 5 years, not do anything because that's going to be full with regret, or do the hard thing now and do something. The easy things are only comfortable for today, but they become hard later. Right? Easy decisions, hard life. Hard decisions, easier life. If there is such a thing as an easier life. %20 on the calls, nice catch. That's Microsoft. Let's go back to SPY. SPY continues to grind higher, looking to reclaim that weekly 50% retrace. Yeah, I do believe that easy doesn't exist. There's no such thing as easy. Easy is a lie. Simple is there, but easy is the biggest. If someone tells me, hey, you know what, just do this, it's easy, right? Anything, I'll just run away. Because easy doesn't exist. So same thing with trading, guys. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that trading is easy. If you join my community, it's easy. I have all the answers, and I'm gonna give you some crystal ball, and you'll be undefeated. That's not the case, right? It's hard, but there's ways to simplify. Look at these hard things, and put yourself in position to win. If all you be a trillionaire, all of us, right? All of us would be trillionaires. So SPY is range bound between 50% retrace of that weekly and that weekly open as well. Nice catch, Vincott. Nice catch. Anyone else, guys? Outside of those two trades early on, haven't taken anything else. 3 green for 10%, down for the day. Beautiful job, Doctor. Huge, huge congratulations to you. On close to 3K% on that account. Tesla, hammer on the 5. It's already kind of going there. I look at, so those hammers on the 5. All right, so the best place to look for those hammers on the 5. Let's do this here. You're gonna look for bullish candles off of support. What kind of support is there? Support is not just horizontal. Okay, there's support that's like this, and there's support that's like this. There's support on the uptrend, there's support on the downtrend. So ideally, you want to look for those hammers off of critical areas of support. So as it's coming there, you got to look for that hammer, and you go 5. You can go 5 for 5. That's one area to look for those hammers. All right. So same thing here. And then same thing here. Looks like President's about to start talking. And then the other area you're gonna look for those hammers is after a breakout. So after an expansion, after a nice trend, after some momentum. So those hammers, when they're kind of in a vacuum, when they're kind of range bound, you have to try to find it's hard to take it in the middle. And to try to find the support. So in this case, right, this hammer, you can justify taking it, but pair with something else, because you can see it's starting to work out, right? But ideally, if you can get a hammer here, if you can get a hammer after expanding outside of this range, okay, those ones will start to go, because what you'll find is, right, you're gonna see hammers, you're gonna see engulfing candles, you're gonna see all sorts of different candles in different areas, right? You're gonna see these candles almost everywhere in a vacuum. But what you have to get good at is pairing multiple things together. So support plus bullish candle, okay, maybe plus trend EMA. Then 3 things are saying the same thing. So the likelihood of buyers to pick this thing back up there is higher. Is it guaranteed? There's no guarantees. But the probability of this holding up as support, right, is significantly higher than if it was just a candle. If was just a hammer candle anywhere. Okay, so it doesn't give as much context. All right, so hammer candle anywhere, maybe a 30% chance, 20% chance, 30 to 20% chance. Hammer candle with support, maybe 40, 50%, maybe 40 to, I'd even say 45 to 55% chance. All right, and that's the honest probabilities. And then now you pair three things, hammer, structure, all that stuff, EMAs, now you go to 60, 65%. Because you don't need that 80, 90%, right? 60%, you'll be perfectly fine with a 60% win rate if you have the proper risk reward. So the cool thing is you don't have to aim for perfection. You just have to, when you're wrong, when you lose 30 to 40 of the 100 trades you take, okay, you can't blow it. Because the 60 to 70 trades you do win at a 2 to 1, right, will cover those losses and some significantly. Okay. All right. Okay, President is talking, so keep in mind we're kind of using this trend line support here as we continue to climb. Especially trading. Someone says you have an easy trading system. Run, don't walk, 100%. The easiest part, if there is an easy part of trading, is going to be the technicals. That's the stuff you can wrap your head around. It just takes practice. It just takes being taught the proper way. But it's not going to take you a lifetime understanding the technicals. Okay, the hard part is the between the ears part, right? Seeing yourself on the chart, confronting your tendencies, confronting your weaknesses, your strengths, your greed, your fear. So it takes more than the technicals. Almost lunch, good. Let's take a listen here.
Right, you feel more comfortable on the water. And class advisor, Christy Rose. Christy. Thank you, Christy. And of course, where would you be without the wonderful friends and family in the stands? And there are a lot of them here who loved and supported you, and they were with you every single step of the way, and they do love you. They do love you. Sometimes they're not forthcoming with that statement. They're up there. Half of them are crying. Look, their boy, their girl, right? Their boy or their girl. They call him girl, by the way, and they call him boy. And in 30 years, they'll be calling you boy and girl, too. They love you, your parents and your family. Please. To all of the moms and dads, grandparents, and family members here in this joyous occasion, thank you for
commencement speech by
everything
the
you've
president.
done.
All right, we'll pop in here and there. Anything can be said anytime, so just be on standby. If you're done for the day, be done. I did take 2 trades, 2 stop outs, lackluster, but nonetheless, we did see some nice moves take place today. If you're green, stay clean. If you're still in the trenches looking for an opportunity, continue to wait. We want to see some kind of separation, proven separation away from here. If you're looking for scalps, you can take some scalps off this trend line as long as that holds up. Line that up with some EMAs. Some areas I want to get involved is, of course, this retest area. We're kind of separating away from it nicely. And possibly mean reversion, all right? Mean reversion. We did get up here, so let's see if we can hold that until the next 30 minutes or so. Okay, if that stays as those highs, there can be a mean reversion opportunity there. If we start to slide below 739.83, okay, that can possibly tell us that we're starting to slide. This structural support is starting to break down. So I want to see how we respond to that level. Let's continue to listen here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get a coffee refill. And we'll be right back. In the meantime, let's take a listen to the commencement speech.
And sacrifice that have defied every storm, shipwreck, and every single enemy attack. In the hour of need, our Coast Guardsmen have brought hope to the hopeless and swept the innocent from the jaws of a raging sea, seas like nobody's ever seen before in some cases. Coast Guard warriors piloted the famous Higgins boats and delivered American liberation to beaches of Normandy and sailed through smoke and flame and gunfire to put the Marines and the Guadalcanal very much into play, and they patrolled the distant shores of Manila Bay and Mekong Delta and the Red Sea, and they patrolled them like nobody has ever been able to patrol them before or since. For decades, the men and women of this noble service have repeated an unofficial motto of pure, unyielding courage. It says, you have to go out, but you don't have to come back. That's a statement. You have to go, I think of that, you have to go out, but you don't have to go back. And you know what that means? That means danger, and it's a statement that you live by. This is the unbelievable heroism and exceptional selflessness that lives in the soul of every single cadet on this field, every single one of you. And you've all been tested. You'll be tested further and probably at higher levels as your career goes on, but you've been very strongly tested, and you have what it takes. You're America's first defenders. You are America's first responders. You are the living standard bearers of America's first fleet. As your commander-in-chief, I could not be prouder of the great class of 2026. Congratulations. Congratulations. Amazing. And I'd have no doubt to say, and just like those Coast Guard legends who came before you, you will always put America first. We put America first now. We haven't done that for a long time, but we do that under the Trump administration, I will tell you. And the whole world is saying, well, America's first, and they put America first. And we help others too, but we put America first. 4 years ago, most of the cadets here today could have gone to almost any school that you wanted. It's so hard to get into the Coast Guard. I had so many people, sir, could you get my son? He wants to go to the Coast Guard Academy. And I look at the son, I say, he's not gonna make it. Terrible. I lost a lot of friends. But every once in a while, I'll call up with somebody outstanding, and they'll generally take care. If they don't take care, they're fired. So, you know, they have no choice.
Okay, back. Okay, we're still trading in this range here between that 50% retrace, that weekly, along with that weekly open. If we take a look at it, this is where we are. So it's high stakes here. Okay, if we can't hold above that weekly open, we start to slide. We can start to head back towards that 737.63. If we really hold above that 740.68, okay, we can start to climb into the highs of the day. And if we get past that, okay, we have a nice little trip into Friday's highs. And of course, we're addressing the jaws of the gap from Friday's gap down. Okay, so that's probably going to be in play if we can start to get above that session high. All right, so to give you some context, this is the bottom of the gap from today. On May 15th, that's Friday. So if we get above this 741.94, we're going to be in the jaws of May 15th's gap. May 15th being Friday. All right, so we can start to stall if we're in between those two zones. In between those two zones, we can start to stall. Apple not doing much. AMD up 8%, guys. AMD, what a breakout in AMD. AMD shallow retest Monday's highs. Intel. I mean, today was a day to be sharp. Today was a day to be sharp. Okay, inverse on TSM. Broadcom getting picked up. Okay, Nvidia reporting earnings. MU not doing much there. Tesla continues to push. Okay, if Tesla can get above those highs, 415 coming up next. JPM. Okay, launched out of a rocket. Amazon continues to push. Palantir not doing much. Apple not doing much. Meta trying to do something. What did Meta do? The infamous 600. So going into tomorrow, does Meta have enough fuel off the 600? On the daily, can it form a hammer off the 600? Okay, Meta, daily, hammer off 600. Going to tomorrow, there can possibly be something there to the upside. By 3 p.m., by 3:15, 3 p.m., if we can do that, that would be very telling. Probably setting up for tomorrow. Okay, we're starting to slide here. Down go the Qs. So that there's one candle here. If you guys recall, there's one candle. We are still, let's say 2 candles. We're still in this candles range. So it took us 1 minute, 2 minutes technically, to make this range. If we take that 1 candle, 1 minute candles range, this is it. So for the past, since 11:10 till now, almost an hour, we've been trading in this one massive candles range. Okay, that gives us a lot of context. Q's testing that 9, IW testing that 9, SPY testing that 9 as well. Pump it or dump it. How we doing, guys? How we doing, strikers? Who's done for the day? I see a few done for the days. Yep, price discovery, yep. So what's happening is there's just these areas where buyers want to get involved aggressively, and then there's nothing in between. Think of it like this. There's areas where buyers are saying we're committed to buying, and there's areas where sellers are committed to selling, and there's selling pressure. And everything in between, right, they can care less what happens. As long as those major levels hold up. This holding Tesla calls 415 TP. Okay, good job, Jeff. Tesla. Is Tesla gonna break there? Okay, Tesla's trying. Tesla's trying. If you're looking for pullbacks, AMD, nice expansion on AMD. Okay, was in this chop, expands out of there. Tesla. Let's see if Tesla can hold above that. That would be the expansive move. All right, so if you're in since that PMH bounce, okay, this can be icing on the cake as it heads towards 415. As it heads towards 415, that'll be the icing on the cake. Let's get to 150 likes, guys. 12 o'clock. Okay, lunchtime hours upon us. We will do the giveaway. We have one giveaway to do. In the next few minutes, if we get to 150 likes, we will do 2 giveaways. If you're a first-time viewer, let us know where you're joining from. Make sure you subscribe. Long-time viewers, take the next steps and join our community. See if Tesla can start to go. SPY is just range bound. We trade Shockwave after hours, after the ideal window. See if something pops up there. That VWAP along with that PMH bounce was gorgeous. Good cut, Vincott. Good. Okay, you can start putting your names in the chat, guys, for our giveaway. While I collect the names, if we can get to 150 likes, we'll do 2 giveaways. I'll start off with the people in the Google Meets and the Discord. I'll collect your names, guys, and then we will do everyone else's name. So names in the chat if you want to be eligible for the giveaway. I'll explain the instructions here shortly. Willie B. We got Riri. We got Sun J. We got Ash V. We got Omabola. We got Judith. Okay, so I got everyone on Google Meets up until Judith. I'll start putting your names in the chat on YouTube, guys. I'll be there shortly. We got Shizabi. We got Bill. We got John G, Lynn, Jen, Jake. John G. Lynn. Jake R. Donnie. George G. All the names, I got all the names until Bill on Google Meets, and I have all the names until Joa G on Discord, and then we'll jump over to YouTube. So YouTube, we got okay, we got Mimi, Marty, Kesh, Mimi, Marty, Kesh, Tahira D, Kesh, Tahira D, Kesh, Tahira, and D. We got Brian B. Thank you for supporting the channel as always, Brian B. We got Brian B. We got RC Hanjo. Brian B. RC Hanjo. Brian B. RC Hanjo. Okay, we got D-Tab, Karen, Grace, Edgar. D-Tab, Karen, Grace, Edgar. Grace, Edgar. Exclusive Rev. We have exclusive. Rev. Okay. All right, so we'll give it up until 12:15. I have all the names until Rev on Google Meets. I have on YouTube. I have all the names until Joe on Discord, and I have all the names until. Okay, I got Lily. So I got everyone so far. All right, some kind of separation away from these two key levels will be critical. Hammer time on the Q's brewing. Hammer time on the Q's brewing. See if we go hammer for hammer. Five for five setup. Looking at the 7/12s on the Q's. And we go hammer time across the board. And on SPY, the 740s or 741s. You can look at either of those. I want to see a nice hammer. Once we get a hammer on the 5 on SPY and the Q's, there'll be something there. Simultaneous hammer. The IWM guys continues to push. And a lot of times, guys, those moves that have the biggest opportunity, right? Any kind of hesitation or any kind of delay, right? Any kind of lapse in judgment on not pulling the trigger. Okay, those are things that you'll learn over the long run cost you. But they will cost you, but you can't use that to justify chasing the position. So it's important to understand that being sharp when the opportunity is there is very, very critical. So I could be a little sharper this morning on my end. Let me see, Q, if SPY can get above that 424, 740, 28. Count me in. Q, 711, 26. Count me in. I want everything to happen simultaneously. I don't want it just to be a solo trip on one individual name. I want the buying to take place on both those names. If we can't go hammer there, we fail to get back over that 9 on the 5. That opens up the door for us to potentially slide there to the downside, and then that gets right into our test zone. So a lot of the bears are keeping a close eye right here. They're keeping a close eye right there. Maybe they want to take that entry when that break closes, and their stop is going to be right that 740.68. So 9 test. So what are we thinking, guys? Do we break down here, or do buyers pump this thing back up? I'm just looking for hammer, simultaneous hammer to go to the upside. Starts to fall off a cliff. Does have some room to fall. We will do the giveaway here between now and 12:30. I just want to see how this plays out, if there's an opportunity there. We got Eric V, we got Arnold, Eric V, we got Arnold. And if we can get 150 likes by then, we'll do 2 giveaways, 2 spins. Anyone going short there? Any sellers there? Anyone looking for that hammer time? What we do know about these buyers, guys, they're very stubborn. They're stubborn buyers. There's going to be stubborn buyers when we're in a bull cycle. Bigger picture bull cycle equals stubborn buyers off critical lows. Okay, short. So if I were to go short in this case, if I can get that close below that level, this would be my line of thinking. All right, so I'm a TP there, TP there. If your risk is defined, that's all you can do on your end. A good chunk of due diligence is defining risk. Okay. So again, guys, make sure to like the video. Let's get the likes up. Short the indexes. That 739 fails to hold, 739.83. We can start the slide. 15 likes away. 15 likes away, guys. Let's get 150 likes. Five likes away from 5,270. I'm still on watch for a hammer. I'm still on watch for a hammer to the upside. Especially on SPY and the Qs. If they want to break it down, by all means they can. So if you're short, what you don't want to see is you don't want to see a hammer. Qs look very, very weak. See if you can hold below that weekly open. So we're flat on the week. We're as flat as can be. Complete pancake on the week. Just put into context, we had 3 consecutive bearish days, and all that resulted in is a flat week. That goes to show you that there's still interest from these buyers. Okay, manage accordingly if you're short. TP if you need to. Qs, you want to see the Qs hold below 710.25. IW breaking back below that 9 as well. On the 5. New 5-minute candle alert here. New 5-minute, new 5-minute, new 10-minute. All right, so you're going to see a flush break below that 709.56. On the Qs, 739.53. On SPY, be mindful the next EMAs are under that. So if you already allocate a risk, you're just on, maybe you're taking some profits if you have double digits. You're trailing, or you're doing whatever you can to manage the position because you are in the green. Okay, nice breakdown there. Nice breakdown, nice breakdown. Wow, look at that. There we go. Beautiful job, Fishman. Who else took it? John, beautiful job, John. There we go, starting to slide. Yep, starting to slide a little bit. Looking for my hammers. I'm looking for the 5 hammer. So I'll allow them to push this thing lower. Now we're starting to put some pressure. Put some pressure on what? This trend line support. We're looking for a new movement, new process, new cycle. So good TP, guys. If you took that, good. The hourly still inside. For us to get the hourly breaker, this hourly candle still has a little bit of time on it. Okay, just be diligent in your TP. Hourly candle still inside. That's still up for grabs. That's the hourly low. That's more than enough to TP. More than enough room for you guys to TP. That should be just from a visual. If I had to guess from here to here, probably a 25 to 45% opportunity. Q 709.98. Close to that 710 reclaim will be it. So Qs, I'm looking at the 711s. The IV on the Qs continues to spike up. IV on the Qs continues to pick up. When we took a look at Nvidia this morning, Nvidia's IV was 94. Let's take a look again. Okay, Nvidia's IV still 94. Interesting. SPY's IV's 26, so the Qs are the ones that are really impacted because of Nvidia's earnings. So their IV's a little jacked up. No grab any shift lows, right? We're kind of just in the middle of nowhere. Okay, just suspensed in midair. Want to see if I get that hammer on the Qs. If you're waiting for the hammer on SPY, you can go 5 for 5. This would be the lotto for the day. A midday lotto. Ideally, a small victor would be. If you're looking to go long here, you're trying to rule out that dead cat bounce. Right, you're trying to rule out that dead cat bounce. One little push to the upside and a nice little continued slide to the downside. So let that 5-minute candle close. Let that 5-minute candle close. Which ones are the buyers? The buyers are the ones that make the candles go green, and the rest sellers are the ones that make the candles go orange. Okay. Who extracted there? If you extracted there, great extraction. We'll do the giveaway here shortly. We will do the giveaway here shortly. So a bit of a dead cat bounce for the bears to take over the hourly. 738.59 is that trigger. So far now we're starting to shift that structure. What do we have here? We have a high, we have a high, we have a lower high, we have a low, we have a lower low. Still some selling pressure on the 15. No hammers yet. So if you rode it to the downside, no hammers yet, no signs of reversal on the 5 yet. No signs of reversal. Are we going lower? So far we're going lower. Keeping a close eye on hammers. Or maybe a small inverse head and shoulder on the 1. Probably the fewest trades I took in a long time. All right, just the first 2 this morning on the Qs. So if you're riding this, right, buyers try to step in for about a 2-minute stretch, not enough. That 5 continues to sell off. We're about to trigger the hourly. We are about to trigger the hourly. So I want the buyers to influence this 5. If they can influence this 5, all right, I'll go 5 for 5. If they can't influence that 5, I'll let them be. Okay, continued selling here. So you can see the EMAs on the 1 flipped already. You got the flips. Slap the EMAs on, you can see. Okay, watch out for that hammer. Hammer's on the 5, guys. Hammer's on the 5. I want to see a hammer on the 5. Hammer time. I'll go with the key. We'll go with SPY here, 739, 739 or 740. 740s. 740 calls if we get that hammer. 2 down, 2 up. I'll go 5 for 5. I'll use that 5-minute entry, 5-minute entry, 5-minute risk. If the Qs can join the party, that would be great. Reclaim that weekly open. Right, as long as that doesn't take place, if you're short, you can use that 9 as your trail. Buyers are trying to pick it up, you can see, but not enough. EMAs are flipped, so we're starting to slide. The hourly breaker is right here. If we break below 738.59, that means we've triggered the hourly breaker, and that's good until the next minute. Okay, so the next minute. That's actually good until for the next 30 minutes. We're going with the top of the hour. Okay, the hourly is directional to the downside. If you rode that, congratulations. Okay, now let's see if we get that hammer. Trap those hourly shorts. New shift upon us in 4 seconds. See if some buyers start stepping in on this hour. Looking at the 740s. Okay, shift lows right there as well. We're coming off that rejection zone hot. We're coming off that zone really hot. This can probably look at your new setup. Yeah, trying to get used to it. Only 4 trades today. Good. The opportunities were there, so it's just it's just a matter of if we're there in alignment with the market or not. All right, so I'm looking for this nice hammer on SPY. Hammer action, 5 for 5, 740 calls. Just waiting for the trigger. Qs are looking to go as well. Should be taking the Qs, manage accordingly. Their contracts are a little more pricier. IV's a little more inflated. If you're already in, you can use that 708.61 as your risk on the Qs. You want that hold above that weekly open. I want SPY to get above that 730, 739.14 and count me in 740s. Tweezer bottom action here. See if I continue push. So there is that the 9 is right there. So when you're going counter, right, you have to go against what's there. See if that 5 can get influenced. Okay, I'll take the calls right there. My risk is literally right here. Okay, so Qs went. If you took the Qs, congratulations. I'm in SPY. Up 3, average fill 130. You can start to trail if you'd like. Up 6. The Qs played out a little more better. So now for SPY, we need that victory above that EMA on the 5. So this EMA on the 1, you can see that's being tested. We need a victory above that. So my stop is here. This is the lotto of the day. The stop is here. No close below here. No close back below there. We're getting aggressively rejected there. Did see 5-6, but nothing to take. Down 7, down 8. Decisive close below there, count me out. That selling pressure might be a little too strong. Okay, let's see if buyers can protect it. Okay, let's see if they can protect that area. We get those lower lows, we continue to slide. We get those lower lows, we continue to slide. Qs are sliding as well, because if we take out those lows, we go engulfing candle on the 5. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at here. That's what we're looking at. Down 10, 12, but a 15% stop if that closes below it. If it does, I have to get stopped out. So no close below. The SPY looks like it wants to go engulfing on the 5. Okay, so on the verge again, stopped. Close below here, I'll be stopped. See if some last minute buyers can double bottom this and push it higher. If they can't, we start to slide to 730 at 19. Okay, let's see. So it is against the EMAs on the 1. All right, so we are trending to the downside. If we break below that 730 at 56, that 5 minute becomes directional. Down 10%, average fill 130. Contracts currently trading at 112, 113. Breaking close below that, we'll be out of there. Pick it up, buyers. Am I the only buyer here? I'm the only buyer here. Let's see, down 14, down 15. Close below. I'm tapping out. All right, trying to see if it wants to sweep those lows, giving it a little bit of margin. Okay, we tend to see buyers sometimes picking things up off those lows. So see if they can come in here one more time. All right, if they don't deem this as valuable, this area, then we start to slide to 738, 19. Then eventually that test zone there. Okay, so critical juncture here. Okay. Okay, starting a nice little bounce. Okay, this bounce is good, but the victory for us would be get it close above that 9. Okay, that's the first order of business. Get it close above that 9. Okay. And then we might have a chance at this. Okay, so small victory. That's what we need here. Contracts down about 10%. Still looking weak, but buyers are trying. They're trying to pick it up. My NC is right there, and this will be the last trade of the day. Okay. Still a lot of selling pressure there. A lot of weight. A lot of weight on the top. If we close below 738.56, I'll be out of there. Buyers are trying. Down to about 10. Look at the back and forth. So we know if the buyers can't get it together here, all right, sellers want to push this thing lower to 730.19. They're fighting. All right. We need that small victory above that 9, get it close above that 9, and then we can be back in business. Down about 4. Okay, so we did see drawdown upwards of 13, 14, 15%. That's defined, right? Close below here. This NC was the marker. Okay, now I like this. Now I want us to stay above this, and I want the buyers to start piling in, because buying begets buying. All right, when it starts to move, it starts to move. Okay, see if we can protect this area. Okay, rejecting off that EMA once again. Too much overhead pressure. Can we hold this? If we can hold this, if we can wick out of there and pull back that you have a nice little wick here, that's good. If we can't, then we probably get back into there near that stop. So we need to see a nice wick here and an acceleration. That's their best bet. So come into it and then buyers pick it up again. So try to pick it up here and push it back higher, at least back into that 739 area. They can't do it. We head back into here, and then that triple bottom can try to form. If it can't, if it slices under it, I'll get stopped. Down about 5% here. So if you're holding runners, puts, all right, you're still encouraged. Maybe you got trailed out. All right, but what I want to see is a victory here, okay? Can I get some kind of win? Some kind of win today. And this has room into this area, all right? So that might be high single digits, but I want to try to take this back to that daily open, okay, for that double digit. Okay, send that break even. So buyers ended up getting it back above that level and picking it back up. Let's see if that now buying begets buying. We want to see if we continue to push. Okay, up 3%. If you need TP here, TP if you need to, guys. Up 6. Okay, need a break above here. There's a great area to TP if you need to. 7. All right, that is a level. I'm going to forego the TP there and continue to hold. Up 9. Now I want a nice clean close above that level. Clean close above that level will be good to go. Qs are starting to get picked up. Okay, and vote of confidence would be, you know what, even if we do pull back, see if we can stay above that EMA right there. You can put your runners at break even if you can put your position at break even if you want. Okay, nice little push there. Up 10. So up double digits. Now headed towards that daily open. Up 12. I'm gonna take a majority off right there at 12. Okay, gotta get that W at 12. We'll hold runners. Who took that? If you took that, congratulations. For these runners, I would want us to stay. Don't get back below here. Okay, don't get back below there. So I want now this 5-minute candle has 2 minutes left. As this 5-minute candle continues to form, right? See if we can stay above that 9. If it can, we're headed back towards that daily open. Okay. So able to get one trade to work in our favor. As we get a feel for the action. Okay. Qs, see if the Qs on the 5 can close above that 9 as well. That would be great. So I want no close below here. I'm going to move my NC there for runners. If you TP'd already, good, good, good. Okay. See if we get some shenanigans here near the daily open to the upside. Favorable shenanigans. Okay. There we go. Up 16, 17, 18. There we go. 20. See if you get a hold above that level. So hit target, guys. Target was at daily open. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this as my NC. Now close below here. Okay, so very nice calculated setup. If you took it all the way to 20, good, good, good. It hit the TP. See, there's a little more juice. There's a little more room left on it to continue to push. Okay, we're at that daily open, so we can't start to reject off of that. Be mindful. I'm going to give it a very tight window here, and this will be my trailing stop. So no close below there. See if buyers want to push this thing back above that daily open. If they do, we'll be in good shape. And then now we can start to get to the 30s, 40s, so on and so forth. Okay, up 27. Beautiful, beautiful setup, guys. Take some more off right there at 24. Okay, down to last bit. I'll use this 9. So no close back above that 9, back below that 9. All right, so we can start to slow down here. Just be mindful of that. So I already hit that target, so I want to see if we can declare victory above that daily open on the 5. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see a shooter off the 5 on the 5 back the downside. So nice little basket right here, no close below there. Who took that? If you took that dollar signs, good, good, good. If you took it on the Qs, okay, Qs printed. If you took it on SPY, double-digit opportunity. Sat through a little bit back and forth. The main thing was the risk was defined. So if we close below there, we know what to do. If it doesn't, we continue to manage it. Going against the grain on the lower EMAs. Okay. Okay. See if last bid runners can continue to go. Up 24. My average fill is 130. Contracts are at 164, 165-ish. So about $35 per contract, guys. So respectable, more than respectable scalp midday. So I'll continue to monitor that situation. See if there's some more room to the downside, or to the upside, I should say. Stay above here. I'll get alerted. Okay, reclaim this weekly open. So this is a pivotal point. We can either go here, or we can either really quickly go here. All right. So of course I want it to go there, up here. Okay, my buffer is this NC. So I highly advise TPing there. That's a 27+% opportunity. Still up 16, 15. I want that 9 to hold on the 1. No close below that 9. Okay, I'll close it. Close the rest right there at about 8. Okay, so runners can really, the last bit of runners can really go all out. Last bid right there at about 8. Okay, so 12, 24, and last TP 8. Did see upwards of 27. And I'll be done with that guy. Okay, so more calculated setup here. Had to sit through a little bit. I had to sit for a little bit, be patient, wait. But the setup this morning was the Qs. All right, so Qs, I could have done a better job on execution here. But still, when you do feel like you're not operating at a high level, manage your risk. All right. In this case, I took 2 trades in a matter of a couple of minutes. Okay, but when I was wrong, I was wrong. Took 2 losses for 15%, and then for the rest of the day, kind of just sat out. We discussed some ideas that could potentially play out. Qs come back into play, continue to push. IW comes back into play. SPY comes back into play. And now SPY is starting to reject. So nice push into that target. Okay. So what I want you to see is, okay, from here to here, how we managed it, how we use those EMAs in our favor, how we scaled out, and how we tried to give it a little bit more room and then drew the line. And how we can anticipate price having some kind of reaction in either direction from this area, depending on which participation groups wants to command that area. So in this case, we come into a reject off of it. So our trailing last bit was right there. Right, not to sit in this up 20+%. Okay, wanting price to get all the way there. Right, it's just systematically catching the opportunity. We have to respect that weekly open right there. We have to respect it. If we come into it, if we peak above it, that's a TP. If you don't TP, if it starts to show some weakness, it can start to slide. The best approach is take all of it off or take a majority off on the way. Right, if you do want to hold it past this point and you're okay with sitting through drawdown, make sure, or you're okay with sitting through being green and then being break even and being red to be big green later, make sure that's predefined beforehand. Okay, make sure that's predefined beforehand. You don't want to be building the airplane in the air. Okay, so just 3 trades today. One worked in our favor, last one worked in our favor. First 2 early shots out the gate, but glad with the way I managed that risk in that area. Just stayed patient. Beyond that, there was nice opportunity to the downside here. You're targeting these lows. You did great. All right, so there's opportunities everywhere. All right, so can you catch every single opportunity? No. Is every single opportunity going to work in your favor? No, it's an opportunity. All right, are you going to hit a home run every time you're at bat? No. Do you need to hit a home run every time you're at bat? No. Right, so you can still get the job done without the home run. All right. Tesla looking to break daily high. All out SPY 10%, beautiful job. MACD cross on the 1. What is this step by step on how you set up your contracts at the money? I take the at the money contract. Sometimes, depending on if it's an individual name, I'll maybe get a couple of strikes out. Right, so if others who are entertaining the idea and that idea makes sense to them and they did their due diligence, can have that favorable contract as well. But if it's SPY at the money, is ideally where I am. At the money, 1 point out at the money is where I reside. If it's an intraday trade, if it's something that's further out, okay, then you can go further strike because you can use that. You can use that target. You can use that target as your strike. You can use that target as your strike. Okay, let's do the giveaway here. If I have 150 likes, we'll do 2 giveaways. Before we do that, let's talk about how to join the community. and all the features you have access to. There's a few spots left on the trial. Once that trial fills up, guys, there's only going to be accessible through the yearly, and it's only going to be accessible through the quarterly. Okay, now we're just chopping around in this territory between that 739.83 and that 738.56. All right, so how do you join the community? First things first, you go to smartactiontrain.com. All of our tools and resources are available to you there. The current special that we do have for the month is the SAT Starter Pack. This is a starter pack that gets you ready to kick off trading. One-time payment, 12-month access to our community, daily live trading, daily live pre-market prep. You get the levels sent to you every single morning. You get some ideas, high win rate ideas sent to you in the morning in the Discord as well. You have access to the live trading training, Q&A, and a ton of all the resources. Of course, a getting started day trading course, all of it to you for one payment for this week and into the Memorial Day, of course, on Monday. Use the code Never Forget. Never Forget will save you 20% off of this. And this is the best deal that we have. Comes with Shockwave 15, of course, lifetime access to the indicator. All right, so this is the best bundle that I can put together for you guys to take advantage of. All right, so make sure to take advantage. Even if you're in the Discord, if you're on YouTube, if you're looking to join, make that commitment, 12 months. Give yourself 12 months. Right, if you're trying to just learn this trading thing in 2 weeks, 1 month, it's not enough time. Right, you can't get your PhD in 1 month. Okay. As far as how to join the community, SPY Strikers is our community. One ticker, 1 hour, one case as a result. We've been adding more tickers to the fold to give you guys more value. Live trading, you get the game plan every single morning, educational library, 2,500 plus hours, and most of all, community support. You have other traders in our community who are sharing, who are supporting you, who share different parts of their journey to motivate, to uplift, and it's truly an iron sharpens iron, reach one, teach one type of community. These kind of communities rarely exist. Okay, everyone is trying to work on their process, bring their best foot forward, and the kind of environment we're cultivating it's going to really help all traders, experienced traders, beginner traders, really bring their best foot forward. There's 3 ways to access our community. First is the monthly trial. This is the monthly. That's the trial version. There's a few spots left for the 2020 spots. Use the code trial30. You get 30% off, $69 a month. 30% off for the first month. After that, $69. You have the quarterly plan, $197 every month. Every 3 months, you have the yearly plan, charged $689 every 12 months. These are all the features. You can run down all the features you have access to. The yearly, you have access to the bonus coaching call and the boot camp as well. What I will do, I was discussing this in the last webinar, guys. The yearly, starting in June, the yearly bundle will include 1 year access. From that point on, will include 1 year access to Shockwave 1.0. Shockwave 1.0 and yearly will be bundled up together to give maximum value. All right, that's going to be coming out in June. All right, speaking of Shockwave, our latest and greatest indicator, all right, master the open, confirm the break, trade with structure every single morning. It gives you the open and range framework. It gives you the Trade Assist engine built for busy and active traders. There's 3 ways you can access the indicator at the current moment. You have the quarterly plan, you have the yearly plan, you have the lifetime plan. All right, we have a 2.0 update coming out. If you do have the 1.0 and you purchased during the early bird special, my promise to you was you have access to lifetime. So that's the price you pay. And 2.0 is here, you'll have access to that as well. If you do purchase the indicator before June, all right, you'll have access to all the updates. And if you did purchase, some of you purchased through Starter Pack, you'll have access to 2.0 and all the updates as well. So 2.0 will only be available on yearly and lifetime, and quarterly will be 1.0. Right, quarterly will be 1.0. 1.0 is not inferior. 1.0 still gets the job done. It's just 2.0 has more than newer features. All right, so again, go to the site, check it out. Check out our last webinar on the site, on our YouTube page as well. It gives you some insight on how to set up the indicator. We will do another webinar this weekend, possibly. I'm going to check my double check my schedule, see if we can squeeze an hour and a half to go over some of the action, to answer more of your questions, and to help the ones who purchased set up as well. So we'll try to squeeze that in. As far as courses are concerned, we will be giving away this course bundle today. Right, the course bundle will be given away today. For the ones on YouTube, if you put your names in the chat, 5-hour course, day trading reference guide, options simplified, my ebook. This bundle will be given away. If you want to purchase this bundle, it's $99. If you're in the giveaway, eligible to win this, you're there. If you're in the Spy Strikers Discord, and if you do win, you have access to the boot camp. The boot camp, I have to put the boot camp on hold. It's going to be coming, guys. I know you guys have been sending messages. You can't wait for the boot camp, right? I'm going to have to put that on hold. We'll try to get it. I want to get it done this month, but we'll have to maybe get that done sometime in June. But we will get that boot camp in. So if you do win, you have access to that boot camp, which is live, not pre-recorded, and we're going to go a little deeper into the setup. So you're going to sign up for the boot camp. I would highly suggest taking the prerequisite course bundle, all right? Because I want you to understand the fundamentals and the foundational things before taking this. The cool thing is, if you are a Spy Striker, this course bundle comes with your plan. So you can take that course, the course bundle comes with your subscription. You can take the course, 5.5 hour course, 6 hour course, take your time, all right, 1 hour a day for 5-6 days, 30 minutes a day for 10 to 12 days, however you want to do it, or one straight sit down. But by the time this rolls around, I highly suggest you cover this. So that's going to really help you build on the foundation and start to build some structure on how to spy, how to scalp spy, my A+ setups, all the setups I use, synchronized selling, synchronized buying, all the terminology I use to really take advantage of the best opportunities day in and day out. All right, so everything's available on the site. Again, use the code. Never forget, you save 20% off every single thing on the site. Again, few spots left on the trial. Take advantage of the trial as well. And the giveaway for today is the course bundle. Not only the course, but the course bundle. You have access to that. So if we have 150 likes, we'll spin the wheel twice. If we have less than 150 likes, we will spin the wheel once. So there'll be one winner. All right. So if you're interested in being eligible for the giveaway, put your names in the chat. If you already put your name in the chat, already got your name. Right. For those of you just jumping in, put your names in the chat. Okay. I have all the names until Arnold on YouTube, and I have all the names until where is the step-by-step on how you set up contracts. Okay, I'll answer that question already. 20-year bond auction 1 p.m. Yeah, be mindful of that, guys. 25% Tesla calls. Beautiful job, BW63. I was doing good, but they wouldn't sell. Went from making 800 to only making 78. Was that Tesla? So Tesla, traps and buyers there. Kind of a double top there. So Tesla's not really expanding outside of that opening range. Still a little trappy, so. Yep, so bond auction right there, okay? Eric V, I think I got Eric V already. All right, so I have all the names. I'm gonna spin the wheel and then we'll look to wrap it up. Okay, these are all the names I got so far. Any other new entrants? Put in the chat. If not, we're gonna name our one lucky winner for today. We can do these giveaways every single day. All I ask is we hit that 100 like threshold. 100 like threshold before 10:30 a.m. So by that time, we usually have close to 300 to 500 people already that stopped by, that saw the stream, came across the stream, and over 150 people watching. So it's a very easy bar for us to achieve, but it's on you. The ball's in your court. So it's going to be a collective effort for us to do that every day. All right. All right. Any new entries? Okay. Gordon. Okay. I'll take one more name. No, Shockwave is an independent product. Shockwave is an independent product. So I'm looking at package 1.0 with the yearly. Okay. Okay, going once. Going twice. All right. Let's spin the wheel. The winner today is. The winner today is D. Congratulations, D. D-E-E. Congratulations, D. D is the winner on YouTube. Out of curiosity, how many people bought Shockwave? More than a handful of people bought it. A lot of people bought it. Okay, D, you're the winner. You are the winner, D. So congratulations, D. Make sure to send me a DM via Discord or in the WAP. Okay, if you're still in the chat, D. And code word for today will be risk. Code word for today will be risk. Code word for today will be risk. So send me your name along with the code word, so I know it's you, and then I'll send over the course bundle to you, D. Are you in the Discord, D? Are you in the Discord? I'm gonna get you the link for the free tier Discord here. Give me 1 second. It's not easy. It's not easy navigating on one screen. One screen and iPad. It's not easy. Not easy. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Okay. So here's the link to the free tier. Send me a DM in the free tier Discord. Okay, send me a free tier in the Discord. Free tier Discord, send me a DM in there. Send me a DM in the WAP. All right, use the code word risk. Hey, my name is D. I won the giveaway. Okay. So that's available for you. All right. So the giveaway is available, guys. Giveaway is available every single day. All I ask is for you guys to smash the like button. 100 likes before 10:30 to give us that momentum we need. Okay, and then every 100 likes after that, we'll do more giveaways. So it is very possible for us to do 10 giveaways in one day if everyone gets on the same accord. Any questions before we wrap it up, guys? Any questions? Again, not the best execution on my end today. A little bit of rush this morning. Outside of that, cooled off, took about an hour, and then caught SPY. Nonetheless, SPY to present some great opportunities. This candle is really hard to kind of gauge. It had that massive shenanigans candle, so unless you just front run that, it's hard to catch it. The biggest trade belongs to one of our members. He took the calls off this area. A nice double bottom off that PML. Okay. I'll leave it on for a little bit and then I'll have to close out. What I'm looking to do, guys, with the YouTube channel, okay, some insight here, is I'm looking to set up another ongoing stream that doesn't end. Okay, so if you're a real OG, if you're a real OG subscriber to the channel, all right, so this is the history of how we started streaming. So I started streaming literally with grounds zero, no, very minimal subscribers. I think you have to have like 50 subscribers or something to start streaming. I was able to hit that, and then we started streaming. After that, I took some time off. Took about a year. About close to a year off, right? And during that time, what was playing on my channel was charts. If you guys recall, who's been there since then? And news. Okay, charts and news was just kind of playing in the background. Right, just needed some time from live trading, Right, there's a couple of things I need to take care of as far as personal is concerned. Right, I had to attend to some matters, so I couldn't trade during that time live. Right, but still taking the trades and kind of not doing the trading anymore, kind of doing my own thing. But during this period, the channel was still going. The channel, the SPY was on the chart, and of course the news was playing on the background. And then, I went through experience there, and then it led me to come back to streaming. And we've been back since 25. So the history of the channel is only about 2 years. All right, so it's not a channel that I got and took from someone else. We literally built this from zero, organically, one subscriber at a time. All right, so why do I bring this up? Because it's important to know where the channel's coming from, to know where it's going. All right, so we started in this area, and there's still some people that are in our chat. Okay, Trade Wins, he was there in the very beginning, one of our captains. Right, I had the privilege to trade with him during that time. That was in 24, or late part of 24. Right, 24, like basically the whole 24, doing the same thing. Took some time off, came back. So now, all right, so I'm looking to have multiple setups. Okay, where we're gonna have an ongoing stream that goes on, that doesn't sleep. This stream is going to be SPY's chart or futures chart, and then it just continues to go on its own. And then we're going to have our show. The show, of course, is going to be the live. It's going to be basically 2 streams. One is just the charts that just continue to go, that you can just pop in, you can check on what SPY's are at that particular time, and then pop back out. All right, that's what I'm leaning towards. Curating some kind of experience like that, so you can pop in, see what SPY is doing, see if there's anything taking place, because we want to cover SPY in and out. Okay, when it comes to SPY, we're marking our ground. We can go to the other names. We've shown that we're more than capable of going to these other names, but SPY is the bread and butter. All right, so we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to build this up. All right, so when we first started, even last year this time, okay, there was maybe 10, 15 people watching. So whether there's one person watching, whether there's 1,000 people watching, guys, the quality does not drop off. We continue to do the same thing. We continue to give as much value as possible. Right, so it's not, oh, since it's bigger, let's take it more serious. Since it's more people, let's do X, Y, Z. The core essence of our platform does not change, regardless if we go back to 5 people or if we go to 1,000, because it's bigger than that. All right, so that's what I'm looking to possibly do. So just give you a little bit of insight. This is our channel, guys. We built it together. You guys liking it, you guys showing up every day. There's no channel without the viewers. Okay, so if you have any other ideas you want to throw out, okay, I still have to do some videos for the channel. I have some video ideas to do. I just got to sit down and record the videos. There's a lot of things we need to cover. We can cover, okay, but we're just doing it one at a time. That's why it's very. My primary style of teaching is through live. Because if I was a student, I am a student of the game, of course, but if I was in the early stages of a student, the fastest way for me to learn is through live. Right? So learning through live is the fastest way to learn. But you're going to be drinking through a fire hose. There's going to be terminology. There's going to be things that you're seeing that you haven't seen before. You know, the action is moving, as opposed to learning in a controlled environment, which is also good. right? But if you want that real experience, live is the best way to teach, and live is the best way to learn as well. I'm gonna try to pull the extension cord. Okay, leave it out. All right, and when the stream is done, guys, I'm gonna continue to leave the YouTube channel open, guys. The Google Meets channel open. All right, as we continue to grow our community, I know we have a few captains on our team, so I'm looking for more captains. If someone wants to take on a role where, hey, you know what, I want to provide some insight during this time, reach out to me. Shenanigans. All right, so look at that shenanigans here, guys. Okay, nice little break. So if you stayed in this from that initial entry, those contracts, just to show you how theta works, those contracts will still be, okay, they'll be up $8, okay, even with that spike. Okay. So use that time, guys, when the main show is done. The Google Meet is there. You can interact. There's always more than. I think I lost my other feed. iPad just died, so I'm down to one screen. Okay, one screen. There's about 40, 50, 60 people there. All right, so. Feel free to exchange ideas. There's our community, all right? There's our community, it's your community. I do have a video on YouTube on Webull. There's a couple of things I want to do on Webull. I just looked at the recent Webull update. Of course, as a trailing stop, but also has this cool feature where you can do the you can share templates. Okay, you can share templates. I'm down to one screen. Okay, share templates. I'm down to one screen, so if we lose the Webull feed on YouTube, right, that's just because I'm looking at the chat. All right, we'll look to wrap up here shortly. So you can share templates of how you have things set up, so I will be sharing that as well. Where will SPY finish today? I have no clue. I can give you a guess, but your guess is as good as mine. Right? But all I care about is where it finishes in relation to these two, in relation to this zone going to tomorrow. Right? So we can finish below it, above it, in between it, but that gives us some context into tomorrow. But with where it finishes today, it's not going to give me too much of a upside. It's going to help us tomorrow. What options do you have today? Just QQQ and SPY. 9 AM I was up 14 on the day, now 400. Lost the band being greedy, so let it stop right there. Or if you're starting to catch yourself slip, walk away with that 400. Okay, so you don't have to give everything back because things are starting to slip and kind of slip away from you. Don't give back that 400, be done. Okay. Yeah, these candles, yep, vicious candles, guys. Last trade worked in our favor. First two, QQQ stopped out. Okay, I mean, those two stop outs took place within less than 5 minutes. All right, so less than 5 minutes. All right, so looking back, everything makes sense in hindsight. We can only connect the dots looking back. All right, so was it worthy for me to shoot 2 shots in less than 2 minutes? The first shot I can live with. Second shot I took, I liked it when it was pushing up. I was trying to front that reclaim. Right? Maybe that second shot could have went without that, but sometimes you cannot go back and correct the past. All you can do is in the present manage the risk. And if you can do that, okay, you're not going to dig yourself in a major hole. If I decided just to let it ride out, okay, you got to sit through some huge drawdown, and then eventually works out. But guess what? This is rewarding bad behavior. Okay, if I sit through this, my stop is there, sit through this, and the market pays me. The market just rewarded me for bad behavior. Okay, so sometimes when you do something wrong and the market rewards you, all right, you got away with it. And the market wants you to do the same thing again and again and again, and then we'll catch you when you're really over leveraged and really oversized. All right, so stop there, cut it, stopped out. We said that the idea played out nicely here. Eventually came back in. I could have waited for shockwave here. So if you trade a shockwave 3 times, 2 times you get 6. You get 6R. Go all the way to TP3. Look at that, TP3, TP2, then TP3. Right, so reassess and reengage was a protocol, and then we sat through, we talked about IWM. IWM played out nicely. A couple of missed setups in between our setup here. IWM played out nicely here, and he continued to push, especially on that reclaim. This first one, of course, this one led that bounce, and then dropped below it, reclaimed it. This was gorgeous. A lot of our team members caught that to the upside, so congratulations to them. And then we came over to SPY, and then caught this nice little bounce for 20+% when it was all said and done. Okay. So I'll do that on the next video. I do have a Weeble video. Most popular video on the channel is a Weeble video. I do have a Weeble video. Okay. Any questions, guys, before I wrap it up? Any questions? Yeah, I'll definitely get that done. So if there's any video recommendations you guys have, guys, that you think will provide value for traders, just let me know. Shoot me a DM. I did have a suggestion box, a suggestion channel. I might have to open that back up. Okay, hey, just say, hey, can you make a video on this? Can you make a video on that? So I'm just here to meet the demand. All right, whatever you guys need, I'm here to. I'm willing to make those videos. So on YouTube, you're seeing that OBS on the side. It kind of blocks Weeble, right? Because my iPad is dead. Just using one screen. So it is doable. It is doable to stream off one screen. All right, but if you're used to multiple screens, it's it's like you're driving without your rear view mirrors and your side mirrors, and you're trying to go to the left lane, the right lane on the highway. That's how it feels. Now, so I'll make that video. Any other questions, guys? SPY continues to chop around. Big thing is NVIDIA earnings today. So NVIDIA can do one or two things. Okay. Put in the chat. Does NVIDIA gap up? NVIDIA can get above 240. Tomorrow this time, NVIDIA can be trading above 240. And it can be trading below 210. Okay. Between 240 and 210 are fair game. All right, so that's how wide the range is. We'll go with 213. All right, so that weekly downside breaker. So So this is where we have no idea. Nvidia can be above 240, Nvidia can be below 213, or Nvidia can do one of these whipsaw things and do that and open up. All right. So what are you guys thinking? Gap up, gap down, Nvidia below 210 by tomorrow this time, or Nvidia above 240. And are the Spurs playing today? Yeah, got a game today as well. Okay, any questions, guys? If not, as always, thank you for tuning in. Apple. Took forever in a day, but finally starting to go. As always, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, join our community for tomorrow. If you want to be part of the pre-market prep and delay for ad-free stream, the link is pinned to the chat. Hopefully you guys found value. Smash the like button on your way out. If you're green, stay clean. If you're still in the trenches, manage accordingly. Look for high probability trades. Think of it like this. It's a low probability environment, so finding high probability trades, okay, is like looking for diamonds in the dirt. Okay, it's going to take some time. In low probability conditions, you're not going to find a diamond everywhere. You're not going to stumble upon a diamond everywhere you turn. All right, so continue to manage risk if you're still in positions. Make sure to pay the trader. And we'll see where things take place tomorrow based on Nvidia's earnings. The chances of them are beating, according to me, they're going to beat. All right, it's almost a guarantee. All right, for them to beat, almost a guarantee. You heard it from me. But I don't know if it's going to gap up or gap down. More than likely, maybe gap up. If I was super confident, I'll put on an earnings trade, but I'm not confident in the direction. Right, but the question becomes the extent of their beat. How big of a beat will it be? What kind of sentiment does Jensen have? And keywords you're gonna pay attention to. Is the China and what kind of chips you're gonna send to China. Right, we heard about talks about deals, the H20s, right? So keep a close eye on that as well. All right, them being able to sell chips to Alibaba, so there might be a proxy if that gets mentioned with Alibaba and some of the other big names in the Chinese market. All right, so those are some of the keywords you're gonna pay attention to. All right, on that note, guys, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you found value. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Stay safe, and God bless each one of you.